Good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Now, you'll notice the header. These are for new people. The Bobbies, the Knicks, they already get it. But I want to make it clear because I keep seeing these morons talk about the stock market and talk about, put your money in bonds, put your money in the bank, put your money in houses. So I want to be very, very clear. I didn't want to call it an investment because it isn't. Let's just say the only place to put your money with 0% risk and probably 1,000% return. Where else can you get this huge return with no risk? Hey, Bobby. Hey, Bobby. Yeah, I was having a problem getting on. It was like my computer froze up, and I going through all the keys, and I eventually had to hit the power button for like 20 seconds, and then it finally cleaned me. But yeah, it took a while. I've been watching some YouTubes. I had to get my drug test, pee in the bottle, which I went at 8:30, and I was done by 8:31. My back was killing me today, but I went back to the Motrin, and it kind of loosens it up. So I don't know what to do with it. I am on. I've now fasted since 5 o'clock Sunday. So 24 and 12 is 36, and 7. I am now at 43 hours. On its way to. I really would love to do 100. I don't know if I can, but all I got to do is go through tomorrow and not eat. Will give me 24, 48, 72 hours. And then if I eat at noon on Thursday, add another 18 hours, puts me at 90. I really would like to get there once. I've been to 75. And at this point, I had 2 cups of tea, 1 glass of water so I could pee in the cup. And this is my second glass of coffee. So it's a lot of drinking. I'm not that hungry, but I'm kind of tired from the trip and hungry from the trip, and I had a lot of carbs on the trip. So I'm getting all that out of my system anyway. But I could eat. How's your water intake? Yeah, well, I had a glass of water this morning, and like I said, 2 teas and now 2 coffees with no sugar substitute. The only thing I'm putting in is the half and half, and then some cinnamon. Coffee, green tea, and I'm just trying to. I know I'm hungry, but every time I get up and I can't walk, I keep thinking, yeah, okay, it's my back. That's why you do it. I'm expecting my back to be cured by the end of, by the time I'm done. If my back isn't better when I wake up tomorrow, we're going to Thursday, and off we go. You drink a lot of black coffee throughout the. No, I put cream in it. You can put cream in it. You can't put sugar or sugar substitute. I can't put honey in it, which I would like to put to get a little flavor, but that's what kills you. And I'm sure a little bit of honey wouldn't, but all I put in is cinnamon, ginger, and the milk and the coffee, or the green tea, some lemon. So if I have a glass of water or tea, I do add the lemon to it, which is absolutely nothing. No effect on this. And I cut a good one. I had one before. I cut it was nice and sweet. So I wake up and I know I haven't eaten, and I'm going, well, I got to pee for my drug test for my Harley job. And so I had a glass of water before I left, and she says, okay, pee as much as you can. You got 5 minutes. And I basically, I didn't have to go. And I basically just put the cup down and went right away. And it's amazing how you don't feel it, but you can still pee. As soon as I put the cup down, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I can. And it's just amazing. So I'm sure it'll come out negative because I don't do any of that shit. Closest thing I do is fish oil or Primal Defense or something like that, or my cinnamon, my spices. But that's not what they're looking for. Does coffee have a stronger effect on you with an empty stomach? As far as what? Making me not hungry or what? I I don't really know. I'm just trying to get something in me. As far as being hungry, no, I'm not really. The hunger comes from the Fritos and the Oreos and the ice cream and the cake. That's what brings the hunger. The Cheerios, that's where the hunger comes from. They put the chemicals in your body and off you go. And then that's why you're always hungry, because they want you to eat more. Um, Only addictions, football and medals. Well, yeah, those are good addictions. I'm a little bit with poker too, but anyway, I wanted, if you see the title, you understand it, but I'm seeing way too much of this bullshit. Uh, I think I showed you yesterday. Buy these two stocks at 7% dividend. Put your money in the money market. Put your money, and as Alistair said, the money market is not safe. You think I'm going to put my money in the bank, I'll put 50 grand and get 3%. And you think that's no risk safe, which is bullshit. It's if the bank says, sorry, we need your money because we're going broke. You've seen margin call, right? And what happens in margin call? Lex Luthor's arguing, hey, we can't, if we do this, it'll kill everybody. Our customers will go broke. And he goes, I don't give a fuck about the customers. Yeah, I ignored it. Well, that's a good, see, that, and that's my other point. Once you find the right thing to listen to, then I find it extremely frustrating to listen to Andy Schechtman or Rule or any of those idiots, Peter Schiff. Extremely hard, because I know they're full of shit and they're just trying to make sales. So my point here is, in margin call, what happens? He says, I don't give a fuck about the investors. All I care about is we survive, right? So Jeremy Irons, Mr. Gold guy from whatchamacallit 3, Die Hard 3, says, no, we want to get, we don't care if they survive. We need to survive. That's the Ponzi scheme of Wall Street and the government, which is what I try to warn you about. This is why we buy physical. Nobody can fuck us, right? Nobody can fuck us over in gold. So you're going to get fucked by the bank. Basically, you're going to get fucked by anybody that you don't understand, that you can't. It doesn't make sense to you. Why am I making 20% with Madoff? You don't understand the concept. You're getting fucked. That's as clear as day of what happens. So what I'm trying to say is the only thing to get into, and the answer to the question I have, is the only 0%, and it's not an investment, so that's why I'm struggling with the correct word. The only place you can put your money and get 0% risk is in gold or silver, period. That's it. You have zero risk and you're going to make a fortune. Where else can you find that? Please let me know. Maybe a Mantle card, a Willie Mays, Barry, Bobby, Clemens, you can't. Barry, you can't. Willie, Hank Aaron, Mantle, you got to get an old Ruth or Garrett card or Joe DiMaggio. Otherwise, or you get Jordan Brady, and now Joe Burrow. Well, he needs to win a few Super Bowls. That's the only place you really have no risk, right? Your Burrow card's not going down. Your Jordan cards isn't going down. Mantle, Bobby Orr, Mays, those cards aren't really going down. And it's the purchasing power of the dollar that makes actually the prices go up. So you have zero risk. How are you going to lose in gold? How? Once we get out of derivative gold, that is. So right now you can lose because the derivative people can sell more than they own and it drops. Never had. I was just watching this Liberty and Finance channel with the idiot engineer who basically, I got to get him in a figure 4 or something. I wrote him, or I called him and I says, hey, I'd like to do some shit on your channel. Go watch my Titanic versus gold, which I doubt he did. And so I'll be happy to be a guest on and explain what the hell nobody else seems to be able to explain to you, except for maybe Alistair McLean. And he never called me, just ignored me. So I'm just commenting him evilly, like, go fuck off. You're the scammer. You're an idiot. You don't even know what the guests are. You just put guests on that don't know anything. So today he puts on a guest that, oh, gold's going to go down. And I'm like, really? How is that possible? Because he's looking at a fucking chart. And he's, oh, hell, in 2008, it went down. So he's playing New England. He thinks Tom Brady's still on New England. That's what this idiot is. So this guy has a guest that thinks Tom Brady's still on New England. And you want me to take this channel seriously, this Liberty and Finance? Fuck that. When you take out your whole 401k, you can rebuild it. Bobby, you're not rebuilding it. You are simply going, here's 100,000. We'll pretend it has a few more zeros. I'm taking it from my 401k and I'm buying gold and silver with it. You're not spending a nickel. You don't have anything to rebuild. You're going to have this nice stack of gold and silver or bars or whatever you can, James Bond, you want to get Goldfinger, and it's going to be in your safe in your house. And there's nothing to rebuild because I don't want anything. I'm taking the Harley job, right? They asked me, do I want a 401k? I said, no. I want all the money, and then I want to buy gold with it. And I'm going to make 100 times more than saving a little bit of tax money that, by the way, when you try to pull it out, you're going to pay this big tax on it. So I'd rather just give me the money. I know it's net, and then I'll go buy gold and silver with it. What do I need 401k? You don't need 401k. That's a scam because when you sell it, you get killed. You're asking who this video is? All right, let's get into this. Well, real quickly, this was a nice video I sent to Jenna and my girls. Basically, the beginning of the end of the Russian war. The Russian soldiers are surrendering, and they took tanks and they just drove them to the Ukraine and says, we surrender. The beginning of the Russian soldiers helplessly raised the white flag. They have no will to fight. So it's like, let's play a football game or a baseball game, which you're more familiar with, Bobby. And the other team doesn't care. You're playing the Tigers, right? You're the Mets. You're playing the Tigers. And the Tigers don't care. They got all their backups playing. What is that? You're going to kill them. And that's what Russia's doing now is their guys don't want to fight. We don't want to fight Ukraine. So it's definitely, how do you win a war when your guys don't want to fight? So that's what I was watching, among many other things. So this is the moron I was watching. Gold crash, 30% drop ahead. Here's why gold could collapse. Now, if you ever see this guy run and run fast, the only reason I watch this channel, Liberty and Finance, is for Alistair McLeod. That's it. All these other guys are a bunch of idiots. So I go into this video, and I'm not going to waste your time turning it on. He says, well, and he shows the trend. He shows the Tom Brady New England trend. Well, in 2008, gold went down during the and you're like, Tom Brady's not there now. What the fuck are you talking about? These people are so stupid. They don't know the difference between paper gold and physical gold still, or are they part of the plant that wants you? Maybe JP Morgan has these guys on. Let's think outside the box. INFJ time. Maybe they're doing it on purpose, pretending that, it's COMEX, that's not going anywhere, and therefore the gold's going to go. So don't buy gold. I mean, that's kind of what he's doing is gold's going to go down, so don't buy it. What economist would say that? You've got to be out of your mind. So only an idiot would say that, and therefore when I watch this, I'm pretty much knowing the guy's out of his mind because it's a done deal. We know gold's going through the roof. There's no question about it. This was deeply disturbing. And then I'll get to the next one. Where all the guys are corrupt in the government. So there's a whistleblower that knows Biden did whatever. And the problem is all the justices are corrupt. This is why when I'm in Barcelona and I'm talking to the other American and I said, we are far more communist. We are not a capitalist country anymore. We're communist. And this is stuff that I use to back myself up. There's a whistleblower for the IRS, and he says, I see this, this, and that for the election, for the laptop, for whatever, all this corruption that the Biden family is doing and all these other officials, and the judges are all in on it. So I could blow my whistle and all I want, but at the end of the day, if nobody, it's like holding, right? I can have holding, but if the ref never calls the penalty, it's, even though it's holding, it's not holding. And that's what you have, is all these corrupt justices. That's why this is communist, because you fucked up the money supply, you fucked up the laws. I've read you the 4 or 5 points of a country, right? Good laws, good money, gold, low taxes, some little defensive military, but not like we have. We don't have good laws that are enforced. We don't have good money. It's all blown up. So, and the army's way too, and then everything's corrupt in the government. So we do not have a capitalist system anymore. We have a communist system, which is why I keep going to Europe to try to figure out where the hell where is the safe haven for me. I'll just take my bag of gold on the airplane and off I go. One thing they're going to do, Bobby, if you go out of let's say we go to Switzerland to cash in, one thing is they'll say, do you have $10,000 or more to declare? Well, first of all, I'm never asked that question. I'm not asked the question in Detroit when I went to Philly, and then Philly to Barcelona. I'm never asked that question. I'm not asked the question at passport control in Barcelona. Nobody asked me that question. They just said, what are you doing here? I go, I'm on vacation, meeting my girlfriend, and stamp passport, period. That's it. So nobody's asking the question. So I could put that yellow bag in my suitcase. Well, it's coming. It's going to be in my pocket. Whatever clothes I'm wearing, the gold's going to be like in my stomach. And basically, nobody's asking. But see, that's the difference with gold and silver, Bobby. Our biggest difference with gold and silver, I got 50 ounces of gold. It does not weigh a lot. And I can put it in one bag. Well, it probably weighs 10 pounds. And I can put it in one bag and pretty comfortably have it all with me. Silver, I got 517 ounces, and it weighs, they probably weigh 20, 25 pounds each of my plastic bins. And that's the big difference, is silver. It's much more convertible, but it is heavy. And I don't know how I can put that on. Well, I'll put it in my luggage. I'll put one in my luggage. The other one is going to go in a safe place. And then the gold I can keep with me. And that'll be how I get that. And then off to Switzerland if we need to. When you take out your whole 401k, can you rebuild it? Again, there's no reason, but so you got your money from baseball that went into an IRA. Your 401k can be a Roth IRA. You don't want taxes. Just put it in gold and silver. You don't have taxes. You didn't make any money. It's gold and silver. It's like your Mantle card, right? I got the Mantle and Ore card I showed you. I don't pay tax on them. There's no capital gains. It's not even recognized. It's just an asset, like your Rolex watch. So you got a Rolex watch worth $50,000. You're not paying tax on it. So you don't want your money in money, right? That's the whole point. You're out of the system. So you're trying to build a 401k. I'm going to ask you why. So you got 100K or you got $1 million, whatever you made from baseball that you still have. And now you go put it into gold and silver. There's no reason to have a 401k. That's your 401k. Do you realize I don't have life insurance because I don't need it? When I die, whoever I'm with is going to pull out a couple of ounces of silver and I'm paid. There's no reason for life insurance. There's no reason for any insurance. You've got it in gold and silver. That's the beauty of it. It covers every, So I laugh when somebody calls, you want life insurance? Fuck, what do I need it for? I've got it. I've got silver. I don't need it. So that's what this is about. It's corrupt. So just because they got Biden doesn't mean they'll actually prosecute him. And if we do, we hope that happens. But this is the problem when you're dealing with basically communist, basically the Chinese. Did you know there was a Chinese police force here? I heard that and couldn't believe it. So basically, there's a Chinese police force. I don't know where it's at, acting as if they're a U.S. police force. What the fuck is that? So it's what I was watching is what I've already said, that Biden's controlled by the Chinese, and we're basically communist China, and that you can see what's happening. There was a comment by Taiwan. They're saying, well, you'd think the U.S. are going to defend us. No, it's the U.S. and China going to blow us up. So they don't buy what they're cooking either. They don't believe the U.S. They believe the U.S. is with China, and then Russia's blowing itself up. And if they lose this war, they're gone. And then there's all these little territories in Russia. There's Moscow, St. Pete, but then there's like all these little countries in the frozen Siberia and everything, and they all want their independence. They all want to get the fuck out. Ukraine wants their independence. So this is, I don't know if Russia's going to win or not. If we really wanted to beat them, we would have beat them already, but nobody wants to invade Russia. You know, it's like they're playing the game in the Ukraine, and they won't go into Russia to play the game. So anyway, I am a call them now. Laugh. I don't know. I don't get it, but yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. But you have to understand the game is corruption. You have to understand the only way out of the game is gold and silver, because nobody knows. So I showed you yesterday that they don't track gold and silver purchases. They don't know we have any. We'll keep it that way. I tell you guys just because I got to put my money where my mouth is. If I'm going to teach you, I got to do what I say. So if I say I have gold and silver, I fucking got to show you. So, and what did I do when I went on the trip? I put about 10 ounces in my glove box in my car, and the rest I had at home, and I kind of hid it in the kitchen and in the bathroom and everywhere else that people wouldn't look, would have no idea. So this is what I did. Now, I was fine. The car was fine in the airport security, which I think it'll always be fine there. And the gold was fine when I got home. Nobody had broken in. Now, when times get desperate, they might. But at this point, it's too early. There's too many kids in this apartment complex playing. And anybody that would come in would clearly not be professionals. They would be amateurs, and they'd see the safe. They wouldn't be able to get into it, and that would be it. But professionals would just take the safe and use acid to oil it. Now, here's a one. This guy is I believe he's an Austrian economist from Australia. I just stumbled on him today, Simon Hunt. And at first I marked him as a negative, like another loser. But then he seems to be more of an Austrian. So I want to show you a little bit about Mr. Hunt. Maybe he's Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, wearing a mask to look like Simon Hunt. We're not sure. But he basically, he follows us in The Rock, and he says, no, you got to buy gold. He thinks it'll be a little bit longer, which I disagree with. It's all falling apart now. And this is supposedly 1 day ago, but he's basically saying, well, in a year, what he does say, he believes the collapse will be like a year away, and I don't believe it's going to be that long. But what he does say is the U.S. is already gone, and what will happen is there'll be the gold standard, and the people running the gold standard are the BRICS countries. So we need to learn Chinese or some of these BRICS countries. We need to learn that language. But in what's happening is the gold standards here. That's the new medium of exchange. People are starting, I think Algeria, Nigeria, all these oil ones are settling in gold. So Saudi Arabia sells oil to China. China pays them in yuan, and then Saudi Arabia takes the yuan, goes to China, and buys gold with it. So China, in effect, is selling their gold probably at a higher rate, but they're selling it. And I'm surprised they're selling it now because it's so cheap. So that's how I read it. Like Saudi Arabia gets so what China's doing is buying oil for gold. And they obviously need the oil, and all they have is the gold for it. So China will collapse if they keep doing this to pay for the oil, because they need the oil. And the only thing, and nobody wants the yuan, right? So the only way Saudi Arabia will take the yuan is to buy gold. Now he's even saying that the ruble and the yuan will just be backed by gold, which we already know. I think they'll come out with a new currency. So I want to show you something at minute 30.
We're here in Australia, but we have audience all over the world.
These are Aussies.
In April 2023, I often say to people, be prepared, not scared. What are 3 things that you would say to people as to what they could do to be a little bit more prepared, a little bit more awake as we head into the changes?
I think the big message that I'm trying to give to not just my clients, but I was in Santiago, Chile, got back the early hours of Wednesday morning, trying to tell the guys there, now is the time you should start contingency planning. Don't wait until the proverbial hits the fan. Mm-hmm. Start now. So for
that's gold and silver is what he's talking about.
Household's point of view, start saving a little bit more, have a nice stock of food, buy gold on weekdays, etc., all the sensible things.
And buy gold on weekdays, he doesn't mean not on weekends. He means
no. I mean when you see the price falling. Probably over the weekend you couldn't be able to buy gold anyway.
When it comes to gold, though, Simon, do you say when you buy gold, not paper, you mean physical?
No, you must buy physical gold. The paper gold market will be blown up.
Okay. Why?
Because there will come a point when the banks are overrun by the physical market. Who owns the physical market?
In gold? It's the central banks.
No.
Oh.
BRICS Plus.
BRICS Plus. When you say BRICS Plus, what does that mean? I know BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia.
Yeah, I always call it BRICS Plus because they're continually getting new members.
On that note, sorry, I said we're running out of time. I just want to ask you, if BRICS Plus becomes as big, as important as it potentially could, and they're backing things by gold, does that mean that places like NATO, World Health Organization, they tend to lose their power?
They will disappear.
Wow.
There's a very interesting the Russian economist who's developing the new currency did an extremely good interview a few months ago. And one of the clauses in the new currency is that if an existing member or a new incoming member defaults on its loans to the Western world, either to individual banks or to World Bank, IMF, etc., they will not be debarred from joining BRICS. What does that tell you? If you're an indebted country that you're going to join BRICS, bye-bye, thank you very much.
Nice, thanks for the party, on to the next.
Well, it's one way of putting it.
Simon, I think we're in for some pretty challenging times.
Yes.
I'm sure you're not going back to the UK anytime soon.
No.
Can people follow you on Twitter?
They can follow me on my website, and from the website is simon-hunt.com.
Right. So if they'd like to follow some of what you're saying and get some more information, that's the best place.
Absolutely.
All right. So, well, listen, I appreciate it because I know you've just got back from Chile. We haven't even gone into some of those areas, but
Okay, so if you smell what he was cooking, he's basically just exactly what I just told you. So he's saying buy your gold now. Don't wait for shit to hit the fan, which I told you 2 years ago to buy as much as you can then. So what'll happen is BRICS has the gold. He who has the gold makes the rules, as we've been saying over and over and over. And so you got to buy it now while you can at prices that are still affordable. There's zero risk because it can't go down with all the shit happening and all these countries getting into the BRICS and getting into the medium of exchange being gold. Its price is going to keep going and going and going. So you have zero risk, and names anything else besides a Mano card, you have zero risk in, and a huge reward, right? You're buying it at 2,200, and when it hits 50 grand, as Bobby would say, shake my head. He's going to see it go and just keep going. And that's really the point. What does people tell you? Buy stocks, buy bonds, put your money in a mutual fund, put your money in a money market, put your money in the bank. Basically, put your money in the Titanic. And that's why I differentiate the Titanic from gold, because all those, anything to do with a bank, anything to do with inflation, anything to do with a stock or a bond, you're going to get fucked and you're going to lose all your value. So there is no boom, hit the iceberg. I love the iceberg part. So you don't have any risk, because if you leave it in, you're going to have zero. If you think you're going to make money in the stock market, I'm going to buy Microsoft and I'll just keep it there another 5 years, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind, because the inflation will kill the value, and then the interest rates he had pointed out will go way high because of the inflation. So what he said is everybody's going to leave the stock market for the bonds or for the safe haven of stocks. So in other words, I can buy Microsoft and make 10%, or if the CDs in the bank are 10%, why would I be in the stock market, right? Why am I investing anything? Is because you have money that you want to make grow, because you want to be more wealthy. You want to live a better life, standard of living. And these communists are doing their best to tax us to death, to take our money. The judges are absolutely crazy. They won't prosecute those that are evil and have broken the law. So that's the point. So you got to get out of the system. You get into gold and silver. There's zero risk, and you're going to make a ton. And basically, that's another reason the stock market collapses, because with inflation, as the dollar's losing value, the interest rates go up. You get out of the stock market into the bond, into the money markets at the banks, getting 10%. You go, well, I can get 100 grand and I can get 10%. What you don't know is 100 grand is not going to be worth anything. So you could get 10% of a zero is zero. So the really key thing to remember is the dollar's collapsing. Everybody's in BRICS, everybody's in gold, right? And the competition, the only competition for this is not another currency, it's gold. Who owns all the gold? The BRICS countries. He who owns the gold makes the rules. This is going out, the fat, ugly girl. They'll come out with some new currency to have so you can go to the grocery store and buy your milk and bread. But otherwise, you can't buy enough gold and silver. No matter what you have, you need more. Because you're going to have your family is going to want some, and your girlfriends are going to want some. And it's just, I give some to Jenna, and then when I meet Daria, I'm going to give her some. And it's just, so you got to have enough to kind of keep your friends, you love your friends, so you don't want them hurt. So you need a few more ounces here and there. And now I got a job again. Now I can go visit the coin store and see if he's got any, buy an ounce here or there. I would still buy the Cougaran cheaper than I would buy the Eagle, because at the end of the day, if you go on eBay, it's all the same price. It's $21.50 is what it was when I showed Jenna in Barcelona. I gave her 2/4 ounces. I gave her an Eagle and I gave her a Cougaran. And I went on and I showed her they're each worth about 600. The Eagle is worth like 650. The Cougaran was like 610. I says, but they're $600 right now. And then the silver, I showed her at about 40. And I said, just here it goes. You're going to be one of the richest girls in the Ukraine, because I guarantee in the middle of the war, nobody's got gold and silver there. If anybody's still there besides Jenna and her family, nobody's got gold and silver. And when it goes and it really explodes, she's going to be a pretty rich little girl. So that's why there's no risk in it. How can there be risk? The risk is if it stayed COMEX, but we know it's not staying COMEX, it's blowing up. That's why I introduced Alistair and the other guy, Andrew McGuire. And then you hear that, you hear it from their life. Now it's blowing up, it's gone, how much physical do you own? And that's why they're saying it, because COMEX is blowing up, which is going to make the price go through the roof. The BRICS countries are going to have the medium of exchange be gold and silver. They're already trading oil for gold. So China gives them money, they get the oil. Saudi goes back, doesn't trust the yuan, and buys the gold. And they'll either have the yuan and ruble backed by gold, or a new currency, a BRICS currency backed by gold. That's what they're going to have. And that's the competition that destroys this. So you don't want your money in the bank, because I don't care if you have 100 grand at 20%. It's paper crap. It's not real money. This is not real money. I don't know how many times to rip at it. This is not real. This is fucked. COMEX is fucked. And that's what you have to understand. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but we realize what's happening. So that's the point of the title of the video, is the only thing you can buy with 0% risk is gold and silver. Your return is going to be huge. So where else would you put your money? So when Bobby says, my 401k, can you rebuild it? I am I'm confused, Bobby. I don't know what you mean. You're going to be sitting on gold and silver. You don't need a 401k. What do you need that's your retirement. You're going to pull out an ounce of gold and buy a house. What kind of retirement do you need? You don't need a retirement. That's your retirement. That's why I'm ready to retire. I'm just waiting for the bridge when the gold and silver goes. And I know it's going, and I keep buying more and more. So that depletes my cash. So I still need some money to pay the bills with. But basically, that's the whole point of this is you're going to be off the grid, you're going to be out of paper, but they won't tell you that, right? So they're not telling you gold and silver is where you got to be. What they're telling you, put your money in the bank. Don't worry, the stock market's fine. Don't worry, buy real estate. Okay, buy real estate. What does that mean? Are you going to buy land and farm it like Bill Gates? Is he really out farming it? Does that mean buy a house? Well, you have a house. The price is going to go down as interest rates go up, and people will need money, and they're going to just give their houses away. So if your house is 500 grand and your neighbor needs money and he sells it for 400, is yours worth 400, 500 anymore? No, yours is worth 400. And if the higher interest rate, it's probably worth 300, because you got to look at the net. I got to pay, $2,000 a month. Well, as this goes out, what are you going to do with the house? People won't be able to afford it. And is your income from the job going to go with it? So if you're making 100 grand, are you going to make 200 grand because the dollar's worth less? I doubt it. You're going to make 100 grand. That's the problem with it. That's why you get your paycheck and you put it into gold, because you're not going to keep up with the inflation. Your paycheck's not going to go up. it should, because the value of the dollar. So you're making 100 grand and the value of this is just dropped. Theoretically, you should be making 150 grand, right? Because to get the same value for your money, 100 grand doesn't do it anymore. If this is lost value, you should be making 150. But they're not going to pay you 150 because they're losing their ass. Their costs have gone up. They can't pass it on to the consumer, as I've said. So Bobby's favorite. So if I got this and I need to stay in business and my costs go up, can I sell it for $50 to $100? Can I now sell this for $100? Probably not. People have less money, but that's the only way I can stay in business. That's why the market will collapse, and you can't. So everybody thinks I can just pass the cost on to the consumer, and the consumer says, "Fuck you, I'm not going to pay more." There's certain times you got to buy gas for the car and electricity for the house and heat for the house. That's critical. That's what you have to have. But all this other shit, the electric shit, I'm going to run out and buy an electric car that the battery's going to blow up, catch on fire. And when they do run out, I have to go get another battery, which is going to cost me 10 grand at least. You got to be out of your mind to buy one of those. Why are you buying it? There's no reason. Climate? What's wrong with the climate? We're on a fucking planet. What do you mean climate? So basically that's what you have. So you're getting, you're making 100 grand at your job and you pay your bills and whatever's left, you don't put in the stock market because that's going to go down. You get it into gold and silver because that is the teeter-totter, right? The dollar drops, gold's going up. Even if the dollar, well, it'll go up because the dollar's losing value. There's no way the dollar gains value, right? So the dollar's losing value, your gold and silver are going up. So you just take your paycheck, pay your bills, pay your food, and then buy gold and silver to go. And that's your pay raise, right? That's how you get your raise. That's your 401k. That's your new money. And you just soon watch it go through the roof. And then everybody's going to be broke and everybody's going to be hungry. And you're going to be sitting there going, well, I told you to buy gold and silver. You didn't listen to me. So now I got to help you out because you didn't trust me and didn't listen to me and come up with that. And that's basically what it is. And that's why you do it. And there's zero risk. What's your risk? Gold, silver, they're blowing up derivative. Russia, China, and the rest of the world are all going to gold, which makes it go up. The demand makes the price go up. But where's your risk? What can possibly happen to it that it's going to go from 2,000 to 1,800 in the real physical world? We're dealing in the physical world, not the paper world. So when these idiots say gold might go down because in 2008, when Tom Brady was on New England, and oh wait, he's not on New England now. Oh wait, we can't use those trends, but they just see what happened in 2008 and try to use these little fucking charts. And I ripped Mike Maloney yesterday. He did a thing and he starts like yelling about they left me on hold, so I put it in for a call. Good man. What do you mean by IMA? Call them now. Laugh a call back. What's IMA? Yeah, I mean, you can call them later. You can't get this. Well, I guess you can watch the video. Call the 401k people. Are you trying to get your money out? Is that what you're trying to do? So yeah, you don't need to rebuild it, Bobby. You get the money out and you buy the gold and silver and you put it under the bed, and you don't need a new 401k. You have your 401k in pretty gold and silver. You buy a safe, put it in a safe place. We go to Switzerland and cash it when you need. You buy a house when you need, but that's your 401k. That's the point I've been making. You have a zero risk. It's not an investment. You got to understand, gold is not an investment. Microsoft's an investment. Playing poker is kind of an investment. This is not an investment. You're getting out of this. Is this an investment? Well, no, neither is gold. It's not an investment, but the value, because it's priced in dollars, as this goes, the price goes to the moon. As the more demand and the BRICS countries need it more, sending the price even higher. There's no risk. It's not an investment, though. It's good, smart thinking. It's hey, wait a minute, they only have 10 guys on the field. We can run a little tight end screen and he's going to be wide open. That's smart thinking. That's not stupid. A bunch of family members saying, Bobby, don't do it. What the fuck do they know? Well, ask them why. Tell them, do you want to be in paper? Like, first of all, there is no risk. And I don't know that I would even be discussing it with the family. It's none of their business and none of their concern. I don't tell my family what I'm doing. I tell Daria and Jenna about it, right? My girls, I tell them what I'm doing. I don't tell my family. So ask your family why. And then when you explain, all I'm doing is switching this for gold. I can't lose. I have zero risk, but you know how much risk I have if I hold it in dollars? That's the point that they need to understand that they don't. They think the dollar is gold and Biden would never lie to us and the judges would never be corrupt and not put people in jail. And that's what we're dealing with. We're basically in communist Russia right now. And that's, again, what we have to realize. So when your family is don't do it, the question is why? Why shouldn't I do it? So play stupid and go, well, why shouldn't I? And, oh, well, because COMEX gold goes down, it doesn't just go up. And it's only at 2,000. It's not going to go anywhere. And you go, how about physical gold? They'll have no idea what you're talking about. How about the BRICS countries? They'll have no idea what you're talking about. This is the problem with 99% of the American people. They don't know. They don't ask why. I see it at poker all the time. Some guy makes a $50 bet. The guy's not asking why. He's calling. As soon as he can, he calls. Then he wonders why he loses because he never asks, why did the guy make the $50 bet? Or as my Rounders example always shows, guy bets 15,000 KGB and Damon calls him without even thinking. And then I love when I watch the movie, and I watch it a lot because I just like to pick up stuff. And it's like he calls timeout. Damon, this is poker. There's no timeout in poker. You don't have to call timeout. Then he's saying, well, I'm pondering. I'm making it look like I'm pondering the call, but really I'm all in. And I'm like, the guy just bet $15,000. You doesn't give a fuck if you pound. You don't need to ponder the call. Just go all in and let him call you. There's no pondering. He didn't bet 15,000. If he's bluffing, it won't matter. Why are you calling a timeout? Why are you pondering any call? And why aren't you thinking, why did he just bet 15,000 after two checks? Check, 15,000. If that isn't, I got the nuts. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't have a clue what you're talking about if you don't understand. That's the nuts talking. That's exactly how you play four of a kind. Check. I'll bet a big amount, but I won't go all in to get you to call. And then that maybe you think I'm bluffing. And then, he ate the Oreo. What else? How people say they're good players and they play the other guy and they don't play themselves. I don't play my cards. I play his. He ate an Oreo and you didn't pick that up? You want to say you're a good poker player? Okay. So that's my problem with these idiots. But that's what I use for everything. So again, Bobby, you ask your family why. I guarantee you they won't bring up bricks. They won't bring up physical gold. And they're going to think it's, all the bank runs are done. No, they're just starting. Credit Suisse, and you think the banks are okay, and Credit fucking Suisse goes out. Biggest bank in Switzerland, except for USB, and it goes out, and Deutsche Bank's in trouble, and you want to be in the banks. Okay, because I'm sure that's the only other place you're in is either the banks or the stock market. Who's stupid enough to be in the bond market? Who's stupid enough to be in mutual funds or annuities? Anything paper, you're being made off. The whole fucking game now is made off. Anything to do with this, you're being made off. It's hit the Titanic, it's going to zero. Anything. So therefore, I don't even understand what is everybody missing here? It's all paper. It's all blown up. What do you think Biden's doing? He doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. But what do you think China wants him to do? Because who benefits from the U.S. collapsing? the Chinese and the Russians, because they're China's number 2 economy. Although the problem with China's going to have, who are they going to sell to? Because we're the biggest buyer. So if me and Bobby own a store and we're selling our gym shoes and we sell it to the Americans and now the Americans are broke, we're going to look at each other like, well, we just lost all our customers. What's going to happen? That's what China's going to do. So they're going to have to find new customers for half their shit. And they're going broke. Don't kid yourself. They had the same housing crisis that we did. So China's not in good shape. However, that's where the gold comes in. The gold remedies everything. Then I was watching one thing where the U.S., all they need to do is turn their gold, to real price. And what they didn't say is they don't have, the U.S. has no gold. When you're dealing with morons, you have no gold. There was one other one that I saw that is typical of, I don't know if I got it here. Yes, here. I don't want to bore you with this. This one here, this guy, Kennedy, this is in Congress, and I hate to bring up politics. He says, why can't you just answer me? These are liberals, and this is the problem. He's like a PhD, and there's some other PhDs, and about taxing the wealthy, right? Oh, we only want to tax the real rich billionaires. That was the question by Kennedy, who's a conservative, and the guy's saying, well, those are billionaires. We don't want to tax everybody. Well, that's how they always do it. They started billionaires, then they said, we need more money. Then it goes down to everybody gets this tax. What he wants to do is tax everybody, even though you haven't sold. So it's an if come. Well, you own Microsoft stock and you bought it at 100, and it's at 200. Even though you haven't sold it yet, we're going to assume you sold it, and we want to tax you on what you've made so far. I haven't made anything. I haven't sold it. Well, we're going to tax you on the if come. That's what this was about. And then you have these 3 PhD idiot who are intellectuals, which is really the problem with the country. They find these PhD guys who couldn't explain what a field goal is, right? They don't have a clue. They're a fucking bunch of morons. And they're all sitting there, and he keeps going to them. Like he says, do you want government to spend or do you want the people to spend? He says, I know you're going to answer government, but we want the people to spend because the people spend better than government. That's already been proven. What do the governments spend on roads and what, schools? And yeah, that's really helps the economy, but we spend our money prudently. No. Steaks are $20. I can buy these for 10. I'm buying these for 10. That's the difference. We will look at the prices and make our determination. They won't. They'll just spend. And they'll go, oh, we'll just get more taxes or whatever. So these 3 idiot PhDs are sitting there, well, we need to tax them, even though they haven't sold the asset. Well, you can't do that. That's what they want to do. Now, why are they even taxing rich people in the first place? I have no idea. And then, it'll be a billionaire, which will get down to a millionaire, which will get down to anybody with $20,000. That's what they always do. That's how they always introduce everything. It's going to be the billionaires, and then it comes down. Oh, if you made $20, you got to pay. That's the problem with the poor people. They shouldn't be paying taxes at all. It's not your fair share. That's communism. Pay your fair share. If you are smart or Bobby's got this skill in baseball and he can make a lot of money with the skill, why does he get punished? He shouldn't get punished. Bobby, you're going to pay, you should pay nothing in income tax. Nobody should pay anything in income tax and pay sales tax. So you make a lot of money, you want to go buy a boat, that's where we're going to tax you. That's it, not on this bullshit. And the beauty about gold and silver, you don't even get taxed on it. There is no tax because it's money. You're not buying a product. So these idiots are saying, well, if you have an investment, so that's another reason to get into gold and silver. These idiots want to do a capital gains tax on you for owning Microsoft stock or something that went up in value, saying, well, we're going to tax you on the value, even though you haven't sold it. we'll be in gold and silver going, I don't know I don't have anything that you can tax. See, that's the beauty of gold and silver. Not only it gets you away from all these crazies, but nobody knows. And you just sit there and we just smile going, yeah, we're fine. Yeah. Oh, the market's crashing. Yeah, that's a shame. I feel real bad for you, but I'm in gold and silver. I don't really give a fuck. I'm in a no risk situation with a huge return, right? Where else can you can't get that anywhere, any other country, anything but in gold and silver. Oh, I'm going to go buy Russian rubles. I'm going to buy euros. I'm going to buy British pounds. Yeah, good luck with that as they all go to zero. How we got into this mess, I don't know, but our way out is gold and silver because it's not going to be a risk. You cannot lose with it. I can't make it any plainer, but I keep seeing these morons saying, well, it might go down because you know what? In 2008, Tom Brady was on New England, and we're going to use the New England trend of what happened in '08. And you're like, buddy, Brady's not on New England now. So we can't use the 2008 trends now. And yet that's what they want to do. And they put up their chart. And as soon as you see that, do not get frustrated. Put a negative comment. You're an idiot. Charts are not used by Austrian economists, and off you go. It's too many variables. As I pointed out, picking football games, you cannot keep using. I can't use the Seattle trends because Russell Wilson's on Denver, and I can't use the Denver trends, and I can't use the New England trends because Brady went to Tampa. But now he may be retired. We're still not sure. We'll know in a few months, but I don't think Brady's retired at all. I don't buy it at all. I don't smell what he's cooking. Sorry. I can't use those trends. I can't use Green Bay. Rodgers finally went to the Jets. Can you use the Jet trends? No. Can you use the Packer trends? No. Now you got to come up with new trends. But these morons will say, well, look what happened in '08. That's what gold and silver did. That's what this did. And that's what that did. So I'm going to use the '08 chart. Well, you can't. These people are so fucking stupid. I don't want you to listen to them because it's only going to frustrate you and you're going to get negative information that isn't going to help you. You're going to get scared out of gold. Oh, wait, it's going to go down because Joe Moron, Maloney or Rule or one of these morons shift has said, because in '08 it went down, it's going to go out now. And then you're going to oh shit, I might lose. Maybe I shouldn't be in it. Let me go into where are you going to go into the stock market? Oh, let me go into bond. Let me go into the bank. It's safe in the bank. I'll buy a money market. Fuck. Any money in the bank is if the risk is zero on gold, the risk is probably 50% in the money market. In the money market. Forget the stock market. Forget the housing market. You're going to get crushed in both of those because of the inflation. That's the problem with the paper bullshit. So if we go to digital and it's not backed by gold, it's still going to be this shit and it's still going to go to zero. And they're not going to do it. I know it's popular. It's going to go. That's the story they're telling you. But look at these idiots. You want these idiots, the Blinkens and the Faucis, and you think they can do anything on their own and it's going to work and everybody's just going to sit there and take it? Are you kidding me? There's going to be a revolution here like you've never seen before. People aren't going to stand for this shit. We're Americans. We are into freedom. Leave me alone. That's what we are. And that's how we've been trained. And so when I'm talking about ribs at the place at 25, it's because that's what you trained us on. The ribs are 20, 22. They went up to 25. That's the market. 40. It isn't the market. In the U.S., it's the same thing. We have freedom. That's how we grew up. That's our market. We're going to take it away and put in central bank digital currencies and electric cars. And we're like, no. Fuck you. That's not what we're into. And we are very strong and individual. We're not going to take that shit. So the communists from China can sell it because the communists don't have the freedom, right? The Chinese people are down here scared out of their minds. I can't say anything. They're going to kill me. That's not our thing here. So we are very much into freedom, which is why I'm into Austrian economics, because being an IMFJ, once I got taught this, the light immediately went on to gold and silver going, fuck. Now I didn't buy it because I just got married and we ended up buying Mantle cards and Brady cards and all the baseball cards as assets. And what did I do? I said, I got to buy the mint cards, right? They got to be mint condition. The better the condition, the more the value. So that's how I got all the cards, because my idiot wife is sitting there, ex-wife is sitting there getting us into cards, and I'm going to get us into gold. So I didn't mind it, but I got smart at it. Oh, let me get the 1961 tops where I can get, Willie Mays and Kofat and the 65 tops and 68. Let me go get those, not the 1991 hoops, cards and stuff like that. So that's really what you're looking at. Anyway, so you got all these bullshit. China replace, these I just laugh at because they're just a bunch of morons. China replaced U.S. debt with 6,000 tons of gold. 6,000 tons of gold. See, well, that's what everybody's doing. They're buying gold. They don't want to be in dollars because they know it's all bullshit. Let's quickly do our gold price. I did see it was down 24.72 and 1992. So it's down 3. Now, what did the guys look at the 10 o'clock? Isn't this amazing? Every day, all right, 9:30 it happened where it's down and then up every fucking day. And you were asking about price fix? That's exactly what price fixed is. 9 o'clock, it goes from 1990 to 1977. And by not even 10 o'clock, it's up to 1993. And now it's at 1992.35. So now what the guy's saying is buy it on the weekdays. That's what he's saying. Gold's down to 1992. Buy it. That's when you buy it, is when it drops, because it's fake by COMEX. So it's not even a real. It's not even a real number, right? So we understand gold's COMEX. Gold isn't physical. We know it's going to physical, and we know the physical price of gold is 100 times higher than it is now. I mean, I'm telling you to put another zero after gold to get it to 20,000. That's for physical. That's where I get it from, and that's where we're headed. And because of BRICS, the new currency is going to be bad. And they hate the U.S., all the sanctions. The oil's going out of China and Russia from Saudi Arabia and these African countries, and they're paying it in whatever currency they want, and then they're getting gold for it. So Saudi Arabia is buying gold with their oil, which is taking some out of China, which is a little, but they must really need the oil because they're giving up gold for oil, and at these prices, it's crazy. So that's where you have no risk. What is your risk? I can't lose. I'm betting on Mahomes to beat the Lions. I can't lose. It's a lock. That's what you have here. You don't want to be you can't. So we know this is Titanic. We know gold and silver can't go down. So what is your risk? None. Bobby's family's giving him a hard time. Why? Ask him that question, Bobby. Don't get frustrated. You have to understand your family doesn't have a clue. So you can't get frustrated. You can either teach them or just say, don't come to me when the dollar, which is almost collapsed, it's hit the iceberg. Don't come to me when you need money, because I ain't going to give it to you, because you're giving me a hard time about buying gold and silver to protect everybody. And that's the thing. So when I meet Jenna and I give her 2 quarters and 2/4 ounces of gold and 7 ounces of silver, I'm like, here, I'm protecting you, right? This is how I can protect you now. I can give you some gold and silver. I'll do the same with Daria. Anyway, that's so they're home. They're safe. I'm still trying to figure out what happened to the daughter. She goes to her friends. She doesn't come home. Her phone's dead. And she's got to call the cops because where's my daughter? In Russia, you're figuring, well, she's probably been sex trafficked or something. And then fortunately, she got her back. I keep asking what happened. She might not want to tell me. And, that could be why. Because I said, what happened? And she still hasn't texted. But she said, we're fine and everything else. So hopefully with all these soldiers surrendering by the by the Russians, and they're giving the tanks to the Ukrainians, hopefully I can go visit not too long ago. Not too long from here, but that's really the thing. I'm still working on my back. I don't any thought. I don't know if this is sciatic or not. It does feel like a nerve. Feels like when your tooth hurts, right? You're like, fuck, I can't. If I get ice on my teeth are fine. But the sciatic, now I took the 2 ibuprofens and I feel pretty good now. But when I go to the swimming pool, man, I just run to the hot tub. I can't even get on the bike anymore. I run to the hot tub and I just soak for 20 minutes, and then I go to the stairs in the cold water and just grab the pole and stretch. And I don't know if I'm doing good or bad, but I had to limp into the drug testing for the new job today. But I just right now I'm just keeping an ice pack on my butt and my side. It's like the side, it's like, so the butt's sore, but then the side's a little sore. It almost feels like I pulled a groin and hurt the sciatic. So I don't know what to do. A chiropractor, I don't know, or I'll just go to a physical therapy, I don't know, or I just get a massage and hopefully that works, or I do what I'm doing right now. So step 1 is my 90-hour fast. Well, we'll see how long I go. We'll see. It felt a little better in the morning, but as I started walking, it tightened up. But I was able to sleep pretty much through the night with it. And then, so I'm at 40 some hours now, 130, started at 5:30, 24, 24 and 12 is 36, and then 8 more hours. So I'm at 44 hours now. I'm about halfway home, but let's see if it does anything. This will be curious. So what else? So we talked NFL draft. So it's basically, we know gold, 0% risk, huge reward. There's nothing else to be in and no other reason to play anything. Just try not to listen to the governments, the Bidens. When these people talk, just laugh. When you go to some of these, if you're watching on YouTube, these gold or so, if they start bringing out a chart, just dislike them and write a comment like, you're an idiot, like, get the fuck off, because these guys are clueless. If you got to go to a chart, you don't understand what physical gold is, and that's really the problem. NFL draft, we've talked about that in depth. I don't know if Jefferson, the Arkansas quarterback's out there. I thought he was. He'd be another one that he's 10 times better than Richardson because he's actually a good quarterback and he can run, where Richardson's just, he sucks. So we'll see. The teams that need the players, the defense is where you should go. The first pick should be the best defensive player on Washington State or Iowa State. Or this Georgia defensive lineman looks like a stud. I'm still trying to figure out this Alabama guy. Like, why would anybody take him in the first 10 picks? I don't know. I wouldn't take him at all. I don't get that. LSU guys, right, Bobby? You went to LSU. Those are studs. Those guys can play pros because they know how to play, not the Alabama guys. So that's the draft. We'll see. What's today? Tuesday. And we'll just pick it apart Friday. So the draft will be Thursday night. We'll pick it apart Friday. And then there'll be Friday and Saturday, and we'll pick it apart Friday. We'll pick it apart Saturday and Sunday. I've always done a draft video the last probably 10 years. So just filter me draft videos. You'll see the old ones. You'll see Joe Burrow #1. You'll see I hate Josh Allen and Josh Rosen and Darnold. I thought they were. See, this is the problem, right? The teams need a quarterback, but they don't know who the best quarterback is. So they draft a Darnold or a Rosen for some reason, thinking these guys are really good, and they're not. So they're drafting these guys thinking they're good. They're not good. They still need a quarterback. And guess what? They're still drafting. The Jets still suck. Whoever drafted Rosen then went and got Kyler Murray, thinking he's the answer, and he's not. Another running quarterback that, again, of course, is going to get hurt because you can't use running quarterbacks in the NFL. There's not enough quarterbacks, and you can't get your guy injured. So unless the guy slides, you're fucked. Josh Allen, what the fuck does he keep doing? He runs into the lineman. I'm giving him one more year until he's seriously injured. He's a fucking idiot. Burrow slides, Brady slides, Rodgers slides. They don't take the guy head on. These are 280-pound linemen or linebackers who run 4.3 40s. You're going to take them on? Fuck, you get down. There's no way you're going to win. Russell Wilson does that. He gets down. Look for Russell Wilson to bounce back. So we'll talk about the draft Friday, which is what happens Thursday. Let's look at the NBA. Let's do a thorough investigation of everything today. Well, silver's up to 24.91. Here we go. All right, let's go to the scoreboard. Bounce. All right, where am I? All right, so let's look at today's the 25th. So let's look at yesterday's action. Let's see how we did. Miami over Milwaukee. Miami now leads 3-1. The game was in Miami. That was game 4. So Miami was up 2-1 with getting 7.5. I told you I didn't like Milwaukee laying 7.5 at Miami. Miami covers as a home dog in not a must-win game. They were up 2-1. Now here's our first strong play. Will be Milwaukee must win game 5 at home. So we'll get to that spread in a minute. The Lakers against the Grizzlies. The Lakers are up 3-1, laying 4.5. Again, they're at home. Now they go back to Memphis. The Lakers are up 3-1. Memphis back against the wall. Must win. Let's see what that line's going to be. That's what you're looking for. So the Lakers win the 2 at home. They're up 3-1. I assume they won both at home. So now it's 3-1 up on Memphis. Memphis in a game 5 at home, must win or they're eliminated. The Lakers relax because they're at Memphis. They know game 6 is at LA. You let down psychologically, and that's where I think they're at. I think Memphis should be a strong play there, and that was it. So there's 2 games. Let's go to today. Today, Boston and – well, let's go to the other games I just mentioned. Let's see what they are. All right, so we got the Grizzlies laying 4 to the Lakers, down 3-1 at home. Strong bet on Memphis. It's a psychological – this is how I love to bet. This is psychological. Backs against the wall, they must win. They're laying 4 to the Lakers, who basically can afford to lose. They're up 3-1. They're going to relax because that's psychology. If we're up, let's say you're up 20-0 in a football game, what do? You relax because you kind of let up a little because you think, oh, we won it. The team that's down fights. So Memphis should fight. Here's the other game, Milwaukee 11 over Miami, and a must win. They're down 3-1. I don't like the line as much unless there's an injury, which I'm not really tracking at this point. I think Milwaukee laying 11. They're gonna win by 30 because they have to. The Kings and Warriors. Now this was a Sunday game. This is tied at 2 apiece. Apparently the Golden State guy is injured, which I don't never heard of him, and I don't know if it means anything. He's their starting guard or forward or something. Golden State's laying 4. The series is tied at 2. Sacramento must win. I like Sacramento plus the 4 here because they're making too big of a deal that the guy's injured. All right, first of all, this is pro basketball, not college. The backup, I'm sure, played when the guy got hurt in the other game. I hear they missed a three-pointer at the end to lose. Why they're taking a three-pointer down 1, I don't know. But you've got a home dog and a must-win, and I don't know. I keep hearing Golden State's a bad road team. I don't buy any of that shit. It's a lot of who you play, but I can't see Sacramento being a home dog not playing a good game, even though the guy's injured. So we like Sacramento in a must-win, Milwaukee in a must-win, and Memphis in a must-win. I think the biggest lock would be Memphis plus the 4. This is tomorrow's games. Then we got Cleveland 5.5 over the Knicks. There's another lock. Cleveland down 3-1 in a must-win, laying 5.5. So the biggest bets I think tomorrow: Cleveland in a must-win at home, Memphis in a must-win at home, Milwaukee in a must-win at home, and probably Sacramento in a must-win at home. Let's see what's going on today. We got the Celtics in Atlanta. We've got Boston up 3-1, but this is game 5 at home. The other series, game 5, was for the better team is down in the series. Here, Boston's the better team, up 3-1. Laying a lot of points, 13, but I still think Boston closes them out here. Atlanta must really suck. Denver and Minnesota. Denver's up 3-1. Game 5. This is where the better team is at home. Their back's not against the wall. I think Minnesota plays a pretty good game here. Even though Denver can close them out and they're up 3-1, it's not must win for Denver. It's must win for Minnesota. I think Minnesota plus the 10, again, unless there's serious injuries. Phoenix and San Diego. Phoenix is up 3-1 at home, laying 12.5. And again, depending on that, I think the Clippers, unless there's just massive injuries, I like the Clippers 12.5. Games backs against the wall. But what I got to worry about if it's 1 against 8 or 2 against 7, I don't really want to bet the 8 or the 7 seed in this situation. Later on in the next round, they're gone. If the 8 seed goes, like maybe the Lakers are the 8 seed, then okay, because they're really not an 8 seed with LeBron and Anthony Davis from USC. However, if it's a bad, like here, if the Clippers are a bad 8 seed, then I don't want to take them. But in the next round, you're gonna get the bad teams out. So now it's 1 against 4, 2 and 3, maybe a 5 and a 6, maybe 5 beat 4. Maybe LeBron's on the 8 seed, so it's really not an 8 seed. So you have all that. So if that's what's going on, then you want to be careful. So here I'm going to be careful with the Clippers because Phoenix, should blow them out. They're up 3-1. But again, I would be careful with Phoenix because Clippers have their back against the wall. They're going to play their best game. Now, their best game might suck, but that's what you look for. So again, Denver up 3-1. I'd probably like many unless there's injuries. In Atlanta, Boston's up 3-1. I think if Atlanta's the 8th seed, Boston will kill them. That's what you look for. So that's where we're at with basketball. And let's see, NFL, any draft news. So we know Aaron Rodgers signed by that. Let me get to another. Let's go to Yahoo. I don't have Yahoo. No, we're going to have to add Yahoo. So if you go to Yahoo Sports, how the Rodgers trade can help two Jets quarterbacks. All right. CJ Stroud doesn't deserve this narrative. Rodgers trade is a true gift for the Bears. I don't know about that. Lynch, a lot of smoke with Lance trade talks. If I'm Lynch and I got Lance and I keep him, I'm out of my mind. Let's go to the draft. So this Jalen Carter looks like the real deal. That's not even Jalen Carter. Look at this idiot. Charles McDonald's mock draft. Bryce Young, number 1 to the Carolina. Richardson, number 2 to Houston. Okay, they'll be drafting first next year. Tennessee, Will Levis. Well, Tennessee doesn't even have the pick. Why would they get Will Levis? Indy, CJ Stroud. They'll be drafting second next year. Seattle gets Carter. They'll be a very strong team. Detroit, Christian Gonzalez, cornerback. Who the fuck's this guy? Never heard of him. I wonder if he's from one of my teams. I can't go in. Oakland, Devin Witherspoon, another cornerback. See, you don't draft cornerbacks with the 6th and 7th pick. Will Anderson to Atlanta. Good luck with that. He's not very good. Alabama superstar edge rusher. Well, when did he become a superstar? He hasn't played a game, and I still like my guy Hooker put up 50 points on him. He must be a really good player. Did you ever see Montana put up a 50 on Lawrence Taylor? No. The Bears, Peter Skorinski, an offensive tackle, terrible pick. Philly, Tyree Wilson, another edge. I don't know who he's from. See, I don't like I can't go into this. Oh, wait. Texas Tech defensive lineman. Okay, what have I told you? Why would you take a Texas Tech defensive lineman for? At what point does Texas Tech play defense? At what point does Iowa State play defense? So let's see. So this is how you pick them apart. Terrible. The Jets, Paris Johnson, offensive tackle. That's a Rodgers pick, I guess. Oh, wait, here's a Arizona. Where was I? All right, so Tyree Wilson, another bust, edge rusher from Philadelphia. Terrible. Miles Murphy, an edge to Arizona. After trading out from the 3rd pick and future pick, the Cardinals added some much-needed talent to their defensive line by taking Clemson edge rusher. So I thought you just said they added talent to their defense. Not with this guy. Clemson's defense sucked last year. Jason Smith-Najiba, wide receiver. I don't remember who he's from. That goes to Houston. You need defense, Houston. The Jets, Paris Johnson again. So he's going to he keeps going to the Jets. Maybe I scrolled up or something. Okay. Isn't this Smith-Najiba, the Ohio State guy who had the pulled hamstring the entire year last year? So Houston, yeah, good luck with that guy playing. Houston's going to get, according to this shit, Anthony Richardson, who will never start, and Smith-Najiba, who had a hamstring the whole year. Yeah, that's good picks. Paris Johnson, offensive tackle, yeah. New England, Broderick Jones, offensive tackle, another shitty pick. Green Bay, Quentin Johnson, a wide receiver. Now they pick a wide receiver in the first round. They had Aaron Rodgers for 20 years. Never picked a wide receiver except maybe Devontae Adams. Quentin Johnson, I got to see who he's from. Maybe TCU. But you need a quarterback now. Washington, John Michael Schmitz, a center. Terrible pick. Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, Pittsburgh. Terrible pick. You need a quarterback. Stetson Bennett's out there, Pittsburgh. Detroit with their second pick. Luke Van Ness, an edge position. At least they have him picking 2 defensive players. However, you cannot draft the cornerback first. Tampa Bay, Bijan Robinson. Now, if they use my guy from Florida, I'm trying to think, Trask. If Tampa goes to Trask as the quarterback, this makes sense to get heat off of him. And then I don't know what's going on with their defense will suck. And then their other wide receivers, are Evans still there? Julio Jones, who cares? He never plays. Seattle, Zay Flowers, wide receiver. Terrible pick. Why would you draft him? You got your receivers. You need more defense. San Diego, Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver. No, this is wrong. They need this is the guy from Tennessee who was always hurt. And you need defense. Why are you taking Hyatt? Hyatt's not your problem. Your offense is not your problem. You need defensive help. You need Lamb and you need Ham and Lambert and Mel Blount. So this is not your problem. Terrible pick. Baltimore, Jordan Anderson, wide receiver. Again, why aren't you taking Stetson Bennett, who would then you'd go to the Super Bowl because you have a great defense? Minnesota, Nolan Smith, an edge. That name sounds familiar, but I don't know. I don't like how I can't plug in. Edge. They need a quarterback. Why aren't they drafting Hooker here? Jacksonville, Isaiah Folksky, a defensive lineman. Jacksonville needs a quarterback first and some wide receivers. The Giants, Joey Porter, a quarterback. Really? Okay. Dallas, Mozzie Smith, the defensive lineman. You don't need defense, Dallas. You need a quarterback. Buffalo, Osiris Torrance, a guard. With all the defensive problems on Buffalo, you're drafting a guard in the first round. Oh, my God. Cincinnati, Michael Mayer, a tight end. I think this is the guy from Notre Dame. I would have liked to have seen him get the Georgia guy, but this guy's great. This guy will help with Burrow and Chase. This guy, Cincinnati's not losing if they get Michael Mayer. New Orleans, B.J. Oldawuli, an edge, which I don't know what he's from, so I got to see. Philadelphia, Brian Branch, defensive back. I don't know what Philly needs a quarterback. Kansas City, Anton Harrison, an offensive tackle. They need defense. Again, a terrible pick. But this guy's an idiot. Who's this guy? Charles McDonald, mock draft. What a fucking moron. Pre-draft board. Let's see. Okay, gives us school. So Jalen Carter, the Georgia defensive tackle, is 1. Will Anderson is not 2. Darnell Wright is not 3. Offensive tackle from Tennessee. Paris Johnson, offensive tackle from Ohio State. What's this guy looking at? Bijan Robinson, Texas. He's okay. He's not that high. Christian Gonzalez, cornerback from Oregon. Are you kidding me? Is that who the Lions are is that who they're looking at taking? A mock draft. The Lions, yeah, Christian Gonzalez. So they're going to take another. They're seriously going to take a cornerback from Oregon. Oregon gave up 45 points a game to UCLA, Washington, USC. Really? And you want their cornerback? Okay, good luck with that. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, what are you doing? Peter Skorensky, an offensive tackle from Northwestern. Really? And what would make you take this guy? Terry Wilson, an edge from Texas Tech. I don't think so. Michael Mayer is much higher than 11 for Notre Dame. If he goes to Cincinnati, look out. They're going to be really hard to beat with Chase and Burrow. Quentin Johnston, yes, he's the wide receiver from TCU. He's very good. John Schmitz, center from Minnesota. Good luck with that one. Richardson sucks from Florida. Smith Najima didn't play for 5 minutes at Ohio State. Why would you draft that guy? Joey Porter, cornerback from Penn State. Okay. Lucas Van Ness, an edge from Iowa. That actually makes sense. I would have gotten that guy first, but I still don't see the cornerback from Oregon is not the play. You wanted the stud linebacker from Iowa State, Washington State. Anthony Harrison, O tackle from Oklahoma. Good luck with that. Broderick James, O tackle from Georgia. Good luck with that. Darnell Washington, tight end, is not the right tight end from Georgia. It's the other guy who's really fast is the tight end from Georgia you want, not this guy. Cyrus Torrance, guard from Florida. What the fuck? Nolan Smith, the ends from Georgia. Okay, that's who the Lions should take with the 3 pick. Should be the Iowa guy and come back with this guy, the edge from Georgia, not a cornerback from Oregon. You got to be fucking kidding me. Here's Kylie Ringo, a cornerback from Georgia. What are they wasting their time with Oregon for? Weatherspoon, a cornerback from Illinois. I guarantee you he will be better than the Oregon guy. Zay Flowers, wide receiver from BC. Are you insane? Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC. I don't see it. Jamar Gibbs, running back from Alabama. You've got to be out of your mind. Brian Brands, cornerback from Alabama. No, thank you. Steve Avila, guard from TCU. Will Levis, Kentucky quarterback. No. Luke Musgrave, tight end from Oregon State. You got to be kidding. The best tight end is Kincaid from Utah. Then you're talking, not this guy. Maisie Smith, defensive tackle, Michigan. Edge from Notre Dame. Drew Sanders, linebacker. So what I'm looking for, here's Kincaid. How the fuck is Kincaid 38, the tight end from Utah, and you've got, where is this other tight end? Or Musgrave, the tight end from Oregon State. The tight end from Utah is much better than the Georgia tight end, and he's much better. Michael Meyer and him are 1-2. So Kansas City could get this guy. Another safety from Georgia. Funny how all the Georgia defensive players are in the top 20. Battle safety from Alabama. I don't think so. Hyatt, the wide receiver from Tennessee, is injured. Let's see. Zach Charbonnet, I like from UCLA. He's a good running back. So is this Acne, the running back from A&M. He was very good. I think both of these guys are right up there with the Texas guy. Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa, another good pick. Luke Whipner, center from Ohio State. I don't see it. Siska Ika, defensive tackle from Baylor. So where are the Washington State and Iowa State guys? So let's see if I can plug into them. School. That's after the draft. Okay. Let's see some draft news. '23 NFL draft. Which teams will leave with some new wide receivers? Who gives a fuck? She still doesn't realize she's no longer famous. Gives a fuck. 2022 NFL draft. Running back prospects. Which teams will target? Who the fuck knows? CJ Stroud. NFL draft discourse has gotten out of control. He should not be drafted in the first round. Michigan, how to watch NFL draft. Who gives a fuck? After the Will Anderson hype with Tyree, somebody who cares. If you eat oatmeal every day, this will happen. You will die because it's carbs. Which team will draft their quarterback of the future? My guess is whoever gets Hooker, Minnesota. or Bennett to Pittsburgh or Baltimore. 49ers, Nick Bosa reportedly warned Cardinal he'd haunt them. Yeah, okay. Colts with 4th pick have no idea who is going to take. 10 dream prospects landing spots. Yeah. All right, so that gives us a little flavor. Although I'd still like to know. So I'm going to go into Google. And I'm going to say, is Jefferson QB from Arkansas? He finished the season on 100, slightly better than it's announced that he will return. Okay. He's coming back to Arkansas. God knows why, for his red shirt. So that's why he's not in the draft, because he's a stud. Which, if we carry this out, we're going to be betting on Arkansas a whole lot with this guy. Utah with rising, USC over, UCLA. We'll see what they get. Georgia's supposed to have a stud quarterback. So we've already got our bets lined up. NFL Word reacts to brutal Lamar Jackson news. When the Baltimore Ravens signed veteran wide receiver Odell Beckham, many saw it as a sign Lamar could be nearing a deal with the team. After all, as Pro Football pointed out on Monday, the Ravens and Jackson did not appear to have come any closer to a deal in the 2 weeks since the Beckham signing. The signing of OB Beckham, he makes a one-handed catch, and then we've seen 100 other guys make one-handed catches. It's not a big deal. Ravens could get something done with Jack. 2 weeks later, still no evidence. He ain't coming back to Baltimore. If I'm Baltimore, I would draft Stetson Bennett and be done with it. He requested a trade, so who gives a shit? So let's see where gold's at now. Silver's up to 25 and gold's up to 1995. So they're pretty much even today. So again, the mock drafts just fucking ignore. Unfortunately, Jefferson's not in the draft. Why aren't they mentioned? So here's the first, the guy's mock draft, which who the fuck knows where he's getting it from. But the guy from Alabama, and then Richardson's going to, if Richardson goes to Houston will have the first pick in the draft and won't win a game if they play him at quarterback. And if they don't, if Mills is better, then they got even bigger problems. Richardson will not do shit at Houston. They won't win a game with him, maybe against Tennessee and Indy because they're so bad. Anybody that plays that division, we're just going to pound and bet huge money against Jacksonville and that. Now they left me on hold again. I wondered where you were. You missed my whole NFL draft thing, or did you hear it? Why are you calling the IRA? Who's your IRA people? Is that like through baseball, or is that a bank? Who are you waiting for? And didn't they call you back when they were ready? So they called you back and put you on hold again? Fuck them, Bobby. But get your, just where's it at, and call whoever has it and say, give me my money, or whatever you're planning on doing with it. Now, if it's in an IRA, you will have to pay tax on it to buy gold and silver. You do not want to buy a gold and silver IRA and things like that. So be very careful with that. Okay, so I just did the NFL draft. basically like the Lions, a cornerback from Oregon, and they could have a cornerback from Georgia, or there was another one that was even better. I think from Illinois. What the fuck, why would you draft a cornerback from Oregon? What did you see there that made him any good? This is why teams like the Lions they drafted the guy from Ohio State, Okuda. He doesn't work out. This guy won't work out. You're getting the wrong team. Oregon does not have good cornerbacks, okay? Not when you're giving up 50 points to Washington and Washington State. I think they scored 40 on you. And you want to say you have a good cornerback? Illinois gave you up 10 points a game. Maybe they got good quarterbacks. Or Iowa. Where's the Iowa State, Washington State guys? And then Georgia had a bunch. So my first pick is the edge guy on Georgia, and then I'm following that up with there was an edge guy or a linebacker from Iowa. No brainers. And then I would get two guys from Iowa State and say, let's teach us how to play defense the right way. That's what, if I'm the coach, I'm drafting two guys from Iowa State, and I'm saying design your defense for me, because what I got at the Lions or half these teams sucks. There isn't a good defense in the NFL that you can find. You can find me one. There isn't one. So I want to get out of this bullshit. I'm going to play the soft zone, let all these guys catch the ball for 15, 20 yards on me. I want to play the Iowa State defense because you know what? The whole Big 12, who scores 40 points a game, gets 10 on them. They obviously know what they're doing and do something right. That's what I want to use. So that's where you use your intelligence, think it's outside the box and go, or even better yet, hire the fucking defensive coordinator from Iowa State, draft a few of his players, and then go, we're going to go shut out half the teams next year. We're going to give up 15 points a game and have 4 shutouts. And we'll probably, get to the NFC Championship game with this defensive coordinator. But we don't want to think like that. That would only make intelligent sense, and we can't do that. All right, so went through the NBA. There's 3 teams. I'll go through them again. Yeah, silver's up to 25, Bobby. It's moving. All right, so let's go. Let's just recap the NBA for my other viewers. So the NBA tonight, Boston to blow out the series, laying 13. Be careful with that. Denver up 3-1, laying 10. Be careful with that. I like Minnesota there. Phoenix 12.5 to San Diego. They need it again. I don't know how bad the Clippers are, so be careful with that. Those are big numbers. Maybe Phoenix does the blowout. But tomorrow is what I'm talking. Cleveland, 5.5-point home dog, down 3-1. Take Cleveland. Memphis, -4 to the Lakers, down 3-1. I like Memphis. Milwaukee laying 11 to Miami, down 3-1. That's your lock. Take Milwaukee laying 11. Are you fucking kidding me? And then Golden State laying 4 to Sacramento in a game 5. That if Sacramento loses, then they go to Golden State and probably lose again. I like Sacramento in the 4 here because they're making too much of a big deal about the fucking injury to the guy. Then we'll get into the second round. That's where we're going to make some big money. Those bastards, one of my Krugerrands have a little bit of glue on them. Can you get the glue off? You sure it's glue? And if it is, can you get it off? And these are silvers you're talking about. Just be careful, but you should be able to use a washcloth to get the glue off, but be careful. I like Bucks to win 3 straight and get the series still. Well, let's go with tonight or tomorrow, whenever they play. Their backs are against the wall, down 3-1. That's a huge bet. See, now you start understanding the concept of psychological, how you bet, right? A team down 3-1 psychologically, And Bobby's, I'm sure, seen it in playoff baseball when he's teams either up or down 3-0 or 3-1, right? Your team's up 3-1, you're relaxed, and you're going to probably lose, especially depending on the pitcher. If you're down 3-1, you're probably going to win. You're probably just going to play your best game. Transfer it to basketball, it's the same thing. Milwaukee's down 3-1 at home. It's win or go home. They're a better team. They're not going to lose this game. They have to win it. So look for them to blow out because they must win. And I think they're playing with the Knicks or whoever. They don't have to win. They're up 3-1. They're going to relax and go, well, we're up 3-1. Who cares? And that's the difference. When you're up 3-1, you do not have that, oh my God, I got it. Your back's not against the wall like the team that's down 3-1. So bet the 3-1 down. Now, you got to be careful, Phoenix and the Clippers, because are the Clippers an 8 seed and therefore Phoenix is going to blow them out. If the 1 seed and they want to clinch it, they probably will. But when you got the Milwaukee's and the Memphis, who are better teams, and they're down 3-1, that's where you jump on. They have to win. Even Sacramento is the better team. The guy got injured. They're getting 4 in a must-win game. Look for them to it's a good bet. Let's put it that way. I still have faith in Gina's. He has heart to come back. I don't know who Gina is. She's a girl. What are you talking about here, Bobby? No, Jenna is my girlfriend, not Gina. I don't know Gina. He has heart to come back. Yeah, I mean, it's all about they're down 3-1 and they have to win. That's what you're betting on. They're going to come out smoking, and the team that's up 3-1 doesn't give a fuck. They're just, we'll win the next game at home, right? That's what happens. Gina Altambido, never heard of him. What are we talking? The star player, true Greek freak. Never heard of him. The Greeks, they're the Olympics guys. The guy who ran the marathon, are you talking about? I don't know. If it's not named Magic or Bird or Jordan, Kareem, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't follow basketball. It's the stupidest, boring sport next to baseball now, with the runner at second, with nobody out in the 10th inning because we'll put him at second because we're in a hurry to end the game. Well, wait a minute. Don't you want to make money on your advertising? What is the hurry to end the game? Do you actually think people aren't coming out because the game takes too long? Now you're putting a time limit on the game. Are you fucking out of your mind? You know, you gotta be kidding. These guys are so fucking stupid. It's just beyond me that they think the game's got to go 2 hours or nobody watches it. Yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings. It's a 3-hour movie. It's too long. Or The Godfather. It's a 3-hour movie. Nobody will watch it. Nobody gives a fuck. They care about quality, not length. Nobody cares how long it takes if it's something good. So nobody cares about the baseball games going 2 hours or 3 hours if they're good games. You got Koufax going against Verlander. You want the game to go 8 hours. That's just ridiculous. So I don't know what they're thinking, especially since they want to make money on the advertising. Why would you put a guy at second? You want the game to go longer. You want that 6 minutes of commercials between innings, which you're trying to speed up. So you want 2 minutes of game time, 10 minutes of commercials, and end it in 2 hours? This is your fucking plan, and nobody watches it, and I don't know one player? It's the same thing here. I don't know who this guy is. Gina Altabina. Sounds like an Italian singer or something. Star player. Is he really a star player, Bobby? I never heard of? I don't think so. If he's such a star, why are they down 3-1? That's like C.J. Stroud's a star player also. Yeah, okay. Sure, Bobby. Anyway, that's why I don't pay attention to basketball. So it doesn't matter. It's the picks are based on psychology. You're down 3-1. You're at home. You must win. That's the bet. I don't care who's on the team. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sacramento's guy is injured. It doesn't matter because the other guys will pick up the slack because they know it's do or die. They need to win, and they're the better seed as a home dog. They're going to win the game because people are making too much out of the injury, right? Oh, he's injured. Oh, well, they have no chance of winning. Oh, really? Jeff Hostetler won a Super Bowl. Now, again, Lawrence Taylor was there. You never saw Lawrence Taylor get hurt. Did Lawrence Taylor ever miss a game for an injury? I don't recall ever seeing him out in the game. But there's games with injuries all the time that the guys win. So anyway, I'll be a happy camper if Cincinnati gets Michael Mayer or Kincaid, the tight ends. I would be thrilled if Burrow adds Mayer, the Notre Dame All-American. Guy's fantastic. I'll be very happy, although I don't like that he sat out the bowl game. Did that fucking matter for Cincinnati to draft him, that he sat out the bowl game or Kincaid sat it out? I think these guys are losers for sitting out the bowl games, but I don't see the problem. Anyway, the Lions cornerback from Oregon, a big mistake. When you have a cornerback from Illinois, he goes first. And then they have an edge guy, I think from Georgia or the Georgia defensive tackle. If I'm the Lions, I'd trade up for that guy. He's a stud. Oh, wait, he ran a speed sign or something. Gives a fuck. These guys are all playing on drugs. They need shot up just to play. What are you worried about, that the guy gets a speeding ticket or something? Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus, God. I mean, what do we want here? These are football players. These aren't normal people. They like to be hit. They don't like to follow laws. They like to be hit. Just let them out on the field. Go do your stuff. That's it. That's all you need to do. I would be trading. If I'm the Lions, I'd be trading see what happens in the 1, 2, and 3 if these idiots are taking these stupid quarterbacks. And they're not even taking the right ones. The 2-pick Richardson should probably be Hooker. Just my thought. The 3rd pick, Stroud, probably should be Bennett. And the 4th pick probably should be Thompson Robinson and or the guy on Fresno State, Hayner. Where are you getting Stroud and Richardson are any good? What the fuck are these guys? I definitely don't smell what they're cooking, Rock, Bobby. I don't see why anybody in their right mind would draft Richardson with the 3rd pick and wonder why he's not playing, and then why they're drafting the number 1 pick next year. I'm telling you right now, if Houston or Indy drafts Richardson with their first pick, they will be drafting number 1 next year. And that guy's not even going to throw 50%, and he will have 5 touchdowns and 15 picks if they even let him out, or he's going to do a lot of running. It'll be like watching Fields. Fields can't hit 50% of his passes. Oh, he's a good. Why would Chicago trade out of that pick when they could have drafted this Georgia defensive tackle, which they desperately needed? Just because you don't need the quarterback, why would you trade the 1 pick? Now you can't get the guy from Georgia. You're going to draft 9 or 10 Chicago. That ain't going to help you at all. And you still got Fields. You're still fucked. Now, if the Bears are smart enough, they will then trade Fields and pick up Hooker. Then, yeah, that would make perfect sense. But you fucked up yourself because you could have had this defense tackle from Georgia who's the best player. So what are you doing? And now I'm seeing 4 or 5 Georgia guys. I don't know they're as strong as they were last year, so maybe a couple of them, but I think I'd rather have the Illinois cornerback and the Iowa linebacker, although I'm not really sold on Iowa. Where are the Iowa State and Washington State defensive players? They're not in the top 50s bullshit. They're definitely top 20 players. They should be there. Too much Georgia and Alabama. Why has Alabama got any defensive players? What did they do last year? Where do you see Alabama having a good defense last year? Should have lost to Texas. We know what they did against Tennessee. How many times I got to say 50 points? And against LSU, put up a 20-something with a running quarterback. So I'm not buying Alabama defense is any good, and it's a scheme, and I don't buy that any of their players are any good on defense. Go to these others. Go to Georgia if you want, or LSU. Anyway, what else do we got? So we've talked a lot about gold as the zero risk, best play you can possibly make. You don't have that in the draft. You don't have a zero. Oh, LSU, absolutely. I've heard of LSU, Bobby. I haven't heard of this Greek guy. Unless you're talking, what is it, Zeus or one of those Greek gods? Poseidon? He's a Greek god, but I don't know who this Gina guy is. LSU, I don't know. I'm sure they always have Patrick Petersons. I unfortunately, they don't have Boutte in the draft. And I was really shocked Jefferson, the quarterback of Arkansas, was not in the draft. So you know who we're betting on next year, Bobby? Is Jefferson from Arkansas, rising from Utah, the USC. Watch what UCLA does with their quarterback. Washington and Oregon, their quarterbacks are back. We're going to be betting overs like hotcakes. Where's Duggan? Is he not going in the draft? Maybe not. I don't hear anything about him. And then you got the kid from Oklahoma was at Central Florida. He's good. It's amazing how these guys are so much better than the bullshit they're trying to wheel. Richardson Levis and C.J. Stroud. Even the Alabama quarterback is not that strong. He's not a number one pick. What the fuck are these three doing in the top 5 picks? They're not in the top 20 of quarterbacks in the league last year, right? C.J. Stroud is not the top 20. Levis, where does he fit? And Richardson, you think he's better than Rising, Williams, the Bo Nix, and the kid from Oklahoma, and the kid from Washington Penix, and and the Rising. You think these guys are better than those guys? You're out of your fucking minds. So anyway, let's see how far Hooker goes. But if I'm Minnesota or Green Bay, I'm taking Hooker. If Green Bay sticks with Jordan Love, they won't win it. That's pathetic. So I would look for Hooker to go to Minnesota. Bennett at a good defense. Baltimore or Pittsburgh is where he should go. If Tennessee moves up and takes Richardson or Levis, they're out of their fucking minds. They won't be doing it. And if they lost Henry, they're not going to win 5 games. You got the whole AFC South. Where is it? Yeah, they're all fucked. Indy's going to suck. Indy won't win a game. Houston won't win a game unless they play Indy. Tennessee won't win too many games. So those 3 teams are going to suck. And then you have Jacksonville, and they're hardly the power of the league. So you got 4 awfully bad teams in that division getting worse, right? They're picking, from what I can see, 3 terrible quarterbacks. And the best team is Trevor Lawrence on Jacksonville. Oh, my God. So that whole division sucks. We're going to be betting heavily against them, especially if these quarterbacks actually play. If Richardson actually sees the field, thank you, God. I mean, that could be my first 35-star lock next year is Richardson playing a good team. If you can find a good team that, I would say San Diego or that, but why would San Diego go after an offensive, go after a wide receiver? You're going after the Tennessee wide receiver, and you don't need it. You got what you got. You got your receivers, San Diego, unless they let one go free agent. But you don't need to waste your first pick on a Tennessee wide receiver who was always injured. That's like the Ohio State wide receiver who played a half of the first half, and that was it. Had to pull the hamstring for the rest of the year. I'm not drafting that guy. How long do you think he's going to play? Maybe 2 games before the hamstring comes up, and then he's out the whole year again. Guys like that you don't want on your team. You want winners. I'm not sure I want Kincaid on the team because he didn't play the bowl game for Utah. But I want winners on my team. So if you're not going to do that, you're a winner. Cyper 1966, how are you? We're talking about our wider range. What would you like to talk about? Or are you just here for some much needed information that you don't, I don't want to quote the guys, you don't get anywhere else, but very hard to come by my information that's actually efficient. So, I mean, that's, these guys are so stupid. And all these offensive linemen in the first round, are you fucking kidding me still? Where's this coming from? You got to draft defense. Defense has to be done in the first picks, and it's got to be that Georgia guy should be the first player drafted, and then followed up by not Will Anderson, but the Illinois. Well, you don't want to really get corners until maybe 15, 20 picks in. We've already seen you can't draft Okuda number 3. That you can't draft a cornerback in the top 15, I would think. Because it doesn't matter. In today's pro football, they don't run regular defenses anyway. You don't want to go to a team that runs a zone and have a good stud cornerback. What the fuck do you want that for? You need defensive linemen. You need Joe Green, LC Greenwood, Ham, and Lambert. And Mel Blount. That's who you go after. And you didn't take Mel Blount in the first round, right? So that's the key to it. Right. So who's Joe Green and who's LC Greenwood? And it's the guy from Georgia. And I think the guy from Iowa. Those are your probably closest to. I think the guy from Georgia is Joe Green. So whoever gets him, you're going to see them in the Super Bowl soon, because that's the key guy that you must have, is a guy from is a stud defensive tackle. Anyway, anything else? Bobby, you're still on hold. Cyper, anybody else? Any comments you want me to discuss? We talked basketball. The teams down 3-1 at home that are better, like Milwaukee and Sacramento. Well, they're 2-2, but they have to win. And there's a couple other teams down 3-1. That's who you're betting on. They must win the games. You bet on them. The teams you got to worry about is Phoenix laying 12. Unless they're playing the 8 team. I don't know who the 1 and the 8 teams are. Well, let's do some homework here. So if we go to all right, so let's go to the NBA standings. Okay, so, well, if we just look at Denver's the 1 seed, Minnesota's the 8. So we got to be careful with that. San Diego and Phoenix are the 4-5. So I don't know why San Diego, they'd probably be a good bet if it's the 5 seed. Sacramento, Golden State's 3-6. So I like Sacramento as a home dog in Game 5, and they're the 3 seed. Memphis and the Lakers. This is a lock. Memphis is the 2 seed. They're down 3-1 at home. Yeah, take Memphis strong. Same thing with Milwaukee. They're the 1 seed against the 8, down 3-1. Take Milwaukee. Those teams Milwaukee's going to kill Miami. And then we got Cleveland and the Yankees, and the Yankees are up 3-1. So we like Cleveland there. They're the 4 or 5 seed, so it doesn't make sense. Boston. Philly's beaten Brooklyn, so that's already over. They swept them. The 3 beat the 6, and then you got. But I thought Brooklyn didn't try, and then you got Boston, Atlanta. Boston's up 3-1, and the game, I believe, is in Boston. Yeah, Boston should finish them off because it's the 7 seed. You got to be careful with the 7 seeds. Milwaukee will kill Miami. Memphis will kill the Lakers. Sacramento is a live dog. San Diego is a live dog, and Minnesota, I don't know if they're a live dog. They're the 8th seed. I could see Denver beating them. So that's what you have. Yeah, Milwaukee 58-24. They're the 1, and Boston's the 2. So I'm gonna lock Milwaukee. I mean, what's this spread is so Milwaukee's laying 11.5 tonight. No, tomorrow. Yeah, I would bet a ton on Milwaukee. Sacramento getting 4.5, absolutely. Memphis must win, laying 4.5, absolutely. Cleveland, absolutely, laying 5.5. Unless there's some injuries I don't know about. San Diego, I like San Diego on 12.5 and a must win. And then Denver Mini. Here's where you got to be careful. Denver is the higher ranked, and I would think they'll take care of them. And the same thing with Boston. They'll get rid of Atlanta. They'll blow them out. Denver should blow out Minnesota. But the game I really like is this Milwaukee game, laying 11.5 to Miami. They'll kill them. And Sacramento. Be careful of all these stupid odd picks. Percentage bets on money. Fuck the money line. Why are people betting money lines? Where did that come from? I never bet a money line in my life unless it was one hockey game, Edmonton, and then the baseball I always do, but you don't have a choice. You can't like two runs in a baseball game. That's just ridiculous. So these NBA games, why would you play a money line? Now, I don't know if there's teasers or not. If there are, you might tease Milwaukee with Cleveland or something. But let's see. Gold got to 2003 and silver 24.98, roughly 25. So here we go. So your best bet you can ever make in your life is gold and silver. Lay the wood. Just they're gonna. You can't lose with them. You're gonna make a ton. I was reading something where the U.S. government is like taking sanctions on the other countries to try to get their gold is what they're doing, and I hope these other countries stand up to them or hide their gold somewhere where they can't get found. But so the U.S. isn't gonna go after us because they don't think we have gold. They're gonna go after these other countries that have gold, and that's such bullshit. But put it this way, the U.S. without gold has no chance of surviving. So right now it's go China, go Russia. They're the Alabama and Georgia of the newly formed BRICS countries. You got Alabama, Georgia. You got TCU in there. Michigan, Ohio State are in BRICS. That's your BRICS countries. Georgia. China, Russia, India, Brazil, South America, Saudi Arabia. That's it. That's where you put your money. Those are your winners. Gold is the winner. It's the only winner. It's the only way. You can't fuck up your economy by printing it to death. Again, for the last time, this is the last time today. This is the Titanic. It's hit the iceberg. This is how much dollars left. You want to sit in dollar and put your money in a mutual fund, in the bank, in a stock, in a bond. Say goodbye to it. Good luck. So really, it just makes absolutely no sense. You want your money out of that. You want your money into gold and silver. You have zero risk. It's going to physical. And that's really the whole thing that people aren't understanding between physical and paper. Get out of the paper. The paper's worthless. So, I mean, that's Anyway, that's what you got to know. That's what being an Austrian economist, not a salesman, gets you. Silver. Well, where's your gold, Bobby? You gonna start buying some gold? Or when it hits 20 grand, I'm gonna hear you going, I should have bought some gold. What's going on with your 401k? Who are you trying to contact? What's the name of the company, I guess? Is it like Merrill Lynch or JP Morgan has your 401k? Or is this Major League Baseball? But yeah, get it out quick before you can't find gold and the price goes up, or the silver. So what did you do? Were you able to get the glue off your Cougaran? Your silver Cougaran? I wish you'd buy gold Cougaran already. Anyway, so I'm curious. So tomorrow we'll report back about the family laying the smackdown on you, giving you the people's elbow. Bobby, don't do it. What the fuck do they know? So ask them. This is your homework assignment. You need to ask them. No, they left me home again. Oh, okay. That's your homework assignment. You're supposed to go to the family that's saying no, don't do it, and ask them why. Say, okay, why should I not buy the gold and silver? And let's hear the answers. That's your homework assignment, because this is most of America, right? This is like the communists who, hey, I don't have any money. So what you need to find out for us is why are they saying don't do it? That's what you need to do, right? And if they do that, then that's what most of America thinks. Then we can kind of attack most of America to try to help them, because otherwise, if this is their mentality, are they listening to the class? Probably not. You're trying to explain it, but you're Bobby. If I explain it, they go, oh, it's a professor. They believe in BS because people tell them. Well, aren't we people, Bobby? Me and you, aren't we people? Tell them you know what the Rock's cooking, and he's cooking silver and gold. That's what you need to tell him. So we're going to end with our normal ending. Fuck, I hate this YouTube with the stupid commercials.
Try the new toasted baguettes from Panera. Melted to perfection. Try the new toasted baguettes from Panera.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
And that's all we need to know. All right, doesn't get any better than that. Get your 401k, give it to the Rock. So where do we think the Rock's got his money, Bobby? Do you think he's got it in gold and silver, or is he listening to McMahon and he doesn't have it there? Yeah, but our INFJs, so it's a different ball game. See, that's our curse and our grace. As soon as they pick up the call, I'm gonna blast them in the ears. Yeah, because they pissed you off. So this is what they don't understand about us. We can think outside the box very easily, and we see things that most people can't. That's why we're able to put our money in gold and silver, because we can see it's going up. We can see it's all fucked. We can see what Russia and China are doing. Most people are afraid. They won't look. Well, I've been there for 20 years. It's like if I said, well, I always had Diet Coke growing up, so I'm going to keep having Diet Coke or Coke. Or I kept, my mom gave me M&Ms when I grew up, so I'm going to keep eating them. No. What do? We changed avocados. We changed to salads. We changed to doing fast. It's all healthy, but it makes sense. We see it and we go, fuck, I'm eating avocados. I'm eating 90 dark chocolate because that get out of M&Ms. So we see the better path, which we know is gold and silver, and they can't. And your family, man, you just, I feel bad because you're the one who's going to end up giving them gold and silver instead of teaching them a lesson, giving them the people's elbow. I mean, they're what are they going to do? I mean, I am going to blast the Rock's music. Oh, well, you could blast them too, but yeah, or do the Undertaker. Then they'll really know you're in business. Give them the Undertaker, or Stone Cold. You'll get answers real quick. So who is this company? I assume you're trying to pull your 401k out into gold and silver. So what is the problem? Can't you just? I can go into my 401k. It's at E-Trade, and I can just say I want to take out 20 grand and move it to my bank, and off I go. I don't have to talk to anybody. So I'm a little surprised that they're making you actually talk to somebody instead of you just saying, I want to withdraw whatever you want, and then run to your bank the next day to get the money to buy the gold and silver with. So you got to be careful when you do pull it. You got to get it out of the bank before they say, Bobby, sorry, you got 100 grand in here, but we're not going to let you get it. So you got to be very careful to pull money and then be able to pull it out into your safe and then go buy your gold and silver, which I would recommend you going to the store with it if you can, close by. Even if you got to drive an hour, take 20, 30 grand and go buy some gold and silver, and then you walk out of the store and you have it, right? And then there's no question. You buy a little bit of cash, nobody can report anything. But you don't want to sit there with that. And also be careful. Well, if it's over 10 grand, I think the store has to report the sale for themselves, not for you. If they do that, you're going to buy $9,900 worth, and you are not getting taxed or 1099. You do not want anybody knowing Bobby Bo has gold or silver. Shh, that's a no-no. So yeah, I mean, this is the fun part, like basketball, being an INFJ, you can see who's gonna. I guarantee you, Milwaukee's gonna blow out Miami, right? I don't know who this Greek guy is, but even without him or with him, they're the 1 or 2 seed playing. The 1 seed's playing the 8 seed down 3-1. This is it. They're at home. Fuck, they'll cover the 11 the first 5 minutes of the game. So, I walked through there. So it's that's got to be the lock of the day. Tomorrow is Milwaukee laying the 11 to Miami. They probably played hard. Miami won. I don't know the score of game 4, but this is it. And the same thing with Memphis beating the Lakers. Memphis is a 2 seed and the Lakers are a 7. LeBron. But even LeBron, you watch, he's going to rest. You know what? We're going to rest him for the next game because we can lose this game. We're up 3-1. It's psychological. We're up 3-1 means we can lose the game, and the other team says we must win. And that's why you're betting them. And that's why you bet them every step of the playoffs. You don't win them all, but that's it. He was out. Who was out? He's their star player who was out when they lost to Miami. Oh, so the star player for Milwaukee was out from Miami is back. Yeah, bet all your money, double it, and then buy more gold and silver with it. Yeah, that's a lock. If the star player is playing and he sat out, and that's how Miami won, and they're at home, and they must win, forget about it. They're going to win by 30. That's how we did the Golden State Toronto game too. Ask Nick. 50-star lock on Golden State. They had a big lead in game 1 and lost it. Here comes game 2, and they're only laying 4. If they lose, they're down 2-0 going to Toronto for 2 games. They couldn't lose, had to win. And they were up 20 in the first game and then blew the lead, and you knew they ain't going to do it twice. They won by 35 points, laying 4 in a 50-star lock. And that's exactly what we look for. So that's the key is that, and that's what you're looking for. So bet Milwaukee if you're betting tomorrow. I mean, that's the obvious. Boston, I wouldn't go against. Phoenix, though, I think, unless there's an injury, they're laying 12 to San Diego. I don't know if that one guy's playing. I can't think of his name. Whatchamacallit. The guy who was on Toronto when he won the title is on San Diego now. So if he's playing and you get 12 and a half and they're down 3-1, yeah, you bet San Diego in that game. So that's how you bet the NBA. You be careful. The home team normally wins game 1. The loser normally wins game 2. Normally covers, and then you start looking at 3-1s. They have to win. You go with that. Kawhi Leonard, yeah. So if he's playing and they're getting 12 and a half, yeah, you're gonna pull your silver out and bet it on that game. That's 12 and a half is way too many. Even though the game's in Phoenix, 12 and a half, Kawhi Leonard, and they must win. They're down 3-1. Yeah, they might even win the game, but they're not going to lose by 12 and a half because the 3-1 team relaxes, right? So even if they're up 20, they're never going to win by 12 and a half. So lessons learned. And if they eat Oreo cookies like Teddy KGB, we know they got a hand. We got to be careful. Haven't talked much poker. Rounders, interesting movie, how they're all so stupid that they can't. The other thing was he makes a comment in the movie that he didn't get outplayed in the hand. Yeah, he got outplayed in the hand. The guy bet him 15,000. He should have folded. Oh, I got a full house. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to call every full house I've ever gotten, even though when I know it's a bad. He's betting 15. Check 15,000. My full house is probably beat with a pair of 9s on board. Yeah, so I'm not only gonna call him, I'm gonna raise him. Yeah, okay. And your whole stake? Do we ever bet the whole stake in football? No. I don't care. The Super Bowl. I didn't bet 25,000 on the Super Bowl. I bet my normal 2,500 on it, and it won. And I was happy to add 2,500 to the bankroll and go buy more silver and gold. You got to be out of your fucking mind. You got 30 grand in the bankroll in this Rounders movie, and you're gonna go play it all on one hand? Are you out of your fucking mind? Well, I think he's got the flush because I'm reading the player, and of course he's gonna bet 15 grand on a flush with a pair of 9s out there. Okay, first of all, nobody bets a flush against the pair on board because the pair on board more than likely is a full house, right? Because all you need, like he had, a 9 and an ace, gave him the full house. There's no fucking way you're just checking that at MGM. Well, I got it straight. There's 3 spades. I got a flush, and I believe flushes beat straights. I remember in that one game I was at, when I did lose, I had a flush. And so I bet. And then the guy, makes his bet. And he goes to me, I thought you had a straight. And I look at him, I go, flushes beat straights. Why would I be betting a straight with 3 spades on board? What the fuck would make me bet a straight with 3 spades on board? I think it went way over his head. Again, that's an IMFJ talking to a moron. I thought you hit a straight. Okay, if I hit a straight, I'd be checking because there's 3 spades on board. Not only that, I probably wouldn't be in the hand. See, I don't even fuck around with that. If I got 6-7 offsuit and the flop comes, let's say 4, 5, and 10, 2 diamonds, I look at the next card, but if it's a diamond, I'm folding. I'm not even fucking around with it. My straight is not going to be the flush no matter how bad I want it. So I don't even play that shit. I very rarely will play. The only time, and I remember this in a hand, the 8 of clubs hit, right? So there's 2 spades out, and I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with 2 spades out. I go all in. And then the guys, I got called by like 2 guys, and the spade they didn't hit the flush. And I win with the straight. Okay, that's different. I've got the straight, and there's no 3 spades on board. And if they hit it, they hit it. You don't think they're going to call them because they got to hit on the river. They got to hit the spade. So one other thing in poker, you make your big bet on the turn, not on the river. The turn is the time to bet it because the guy might be in to see if he can hit it, and he's probably going to miss it. But by the time the river's there and you make the big bet, what's the point? Because the guy missed. He either hit or missed. So if he's hit the full house on the river, he's calling you. If he missed, he's folding. You make a big bet on the river and he missed, well, why would he call you? He's gone. So that was stupid. One other tip I do notice in Vegas, I got a pair of queens. The river comes, the guy checks, and there really wasn't much on board. He checks. I bet 40 with my queens, heads up. Not a big pot. He comes over the top, makes it 100. I snap call him. I immediately call him because I immediately know he's bluffing. How do you know he's bluffing, Professor? Not only being an INFJ, because if he had a hand, something, two pair, a flush, a straight, you don't check the river. If you're first to act and you got a full house, psychologically you're betting it, right? Because if you check and I check, you don't win any money on it. So you are going to bet your river, straight, flush, full house, trips, whatever it is, you're betting it. So when he checked to me and I got queens, I know there's no way he's got a hand because he would have bet it. And by him, and if he bets it, I call. But by him checking, I said, well, I'm going to bet. I got the queens. I know that's good. Then he comes over the top, and before he got his money in, I called. He's looking at me. I turn over the queens. He's got nothing. I mean, it was very obvious. Psychologically, once the river hits, and you can see KGB bet 15,000, you're not checking the river if you've got a hand, if you're first to act. That you can take to the bank. So if you get checked raised on the river versus check raised on the flop, you get check raised on the river and the guy didn't bet, so he checked, you bet, and now he's raising you when he could have bet, he doesn't have it. What I talk about is when I got aces on the flop, on pre-flop, the guy calls it the pair of sixes, and then a six hits the flop. Now he's got a set of sixes, and he checks, and then I bet my $30 or $40 with my aces because I want to go to my, I just want to see, and then he check raises me. That's a whole different check rate. Then I fold. But on the river, a check raise, if he checks and you bet, and then he raises, if he had a pair, he would have just called because he wants the showdown value, right? He wants, well, I got nines. Let's see if I made it. But if he's raising, what the fuck you raised it on? Anyway, Bobby, this I got near the Picasso store. It's this is from Barcelona, an elephant. Nice one. Might even be a Picasso elephant, but I didn't get it at the Picasso store. It just says Barcelona, but I really liked it. So I really got it for Irina's baby because she likes keychains. I remember when I met Irina in Romania, I had my Vegas keychain, which looks a whole lot like this. So I had my Vegas keychain, and I gave it to her. And then she gave me a turkey keychain, which I thought was not a fair trade. So I had this. I says, you want it? She says, yeah. And she took it. It was Caesar's Palace. And I got this in Amsterdam. I was like, how can I not get that? And then I got this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, if I can put it on my thing. So this is Barcelona. But I got all the Picasso stuff, which is what I really want. Anyway, so that's it. I mean, everything's psychological. Women, poker, betting, it's all psychological. You're trying to get the best out of the team. How are they going to play? When the team's up 3-1, they're not going to play good. Baseball, when you play a good pitcher, I think we talked about this yesterday, Bobby, didn't we? With the pitcher has a perfect game going with 2 outs in the 7th, gives up a hit and pulls them. Then they lose the game 2-1. Had they kept him in, the Tigers would have won 1-0 because they never were going to. The only hit was a bloop. He had gotten everybody out. We're worried about pitch count. Let me check that box score. Let's have some fun here. So I'm going to check the box score of the Detroit Let's see if I get box score in Yahoo. I think so. Let's go back to Sunday. Baltimore wins to, yeah, here it is. Okay, so box score. So Edward Rodriguez pitches 7 innings, gives up 1 hit. Oh, here's his pitch count. Pitches. He had 95 pitches. The guy pitches 95 pitches, and you pull him in the 7th inning. Then you bring in your reliever who gives up in the 8th inning, he gives up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, and now the game's tied at 1-1. And then you bring in this guy Lang who does nothing, and then Engbert gives up the winning run. So pretty sound managing, I think. And the guy who gives up the winning run has a 4.73 ERA. Oh my God. The guy who gave up the tying run has a 3.0 ERA. Why are you pulling your starter after only 95 pitches? He would have easily got the guy out in the 7th because he's got a perfect game. Then you get into the 8th inning, and maybe he's at 105. He's pitching the 9th inning, unless you have a really good 9th inning pitcher. Now, my favorite, let's look at the batting averages of these clowns. Here's the Tigers' batting average. First, the leadoff hitter, 222. The second hitter, 235. The third hitter, 235. The fourth hitter, 218. The shortstop, 256. The next hitter, 216. The third baseman's hitting .63. The catcher's hitting 258, and the second baseman's hitting 188. How do you feel a team with this batting average? So your best hitter is your catcher hitting 258, batting 8th, and then you got a shortstop batting 256. How the fuck are you expected to win any games with this lineup? Let's look at Baltimore. Oh, right away, Hayes, left fielder, 295. Rutzman, catcher, 291. Then you got a 213. I don't know why he's batting 3rd. Then your cleanup hitter, why would the cleanup hitter who's hitting 222 be batting cleanup? Second baseman, 0 for 4, 228, and he's hitting cleanup? What the fuck is that? Then you got McCann, the DH, is hitting 143. What are they doing? Then they got this guy, Mateo, the shortstop's hitting 360. Why is he batting? He should be the third hitter. The third baseman's hitting 183. Why is he in Major League Baseball? The right fielder's hitting 176. Why is he in Major League Baseball? And your center fielder's hitting 243. So why are any of these guys in Major League Baseball? It's hilarious hearing the professor rip the Detroit teams. Well, I get that from my dad. When I was young, and in the late 60s and 70s, early 70s, 68, 69, 70, he used to rip the Lions. I don't know. He didn't like him. You must have lost a bet on him. And there was Greg Landry was the quarterback of the Lions, in the late 60s, early 70s. And he'd call him Dirty Laundry. And he'd tell me, don't ever, I hate the Lions, don't like the Lions. So I get a lot from him. But, I make my own mind up. If you would have said, I hate the Steelers, and here comes Joe Green at Harris, I probably wouldn't have listened to him because they hadn't won shit in their whole history until 70, the Immaculate Reception, which was Harris's rookie year. But that's the key is that. So he hated them. So I kind of now I just laugh at everybody wearing the Lion stuff. But look at the Tigers. I mean, I'm not stupid. I played baseball, not in your level, Bobby, but I played till I was 16, Pony Colt, or Babe Ruth League, whatever that was. I could play. I could fucking hit. And I was great second baseman. Really, I could play I played a lot of second base, shortstop, and I'm not an idiot, but I knew how to do relay plays. I mean, when I was 7, 8 years old. I learned in Little League. Hit the cutoff, man. That's all my dad would teach me. So how you got guys playing Major League Baseball with hitting 140, 150, 160, you have to be out of your mind. Whoever the fucking GM is has to be out of his mind. The manager, if I'm the Tigers GM, I get rid of anybody that can't hit 220, they're gone. And anybody that pitches and pulls a guy after a perfect game in the bottom of the 7th, only letting up 95 pitches, and you pull him, you're gone. I don't need a manager like that. I need a manager who wants to win. I don't need pitch counts. Okay, first of all, there's no pitch counts, and we're going on 3 days rest. That's how I'm managed. That's how my team's playing, right? It worked for Bob Gibson. It worked for Sandy Koufax. It worked for McLean. I got a feeling it'll work now. What is this 5-day rest? What the fuck are you doing? 5-day rest. Anyway, that's just a joke. And then the funny part is that the pitchers change. Look at Verlander and Scherzer are now on the Mets, I think. So what are you pitch counting them for? You know, what Scherzer was on the Dodgers. What are you pitch counting him for? He's not going to stay. Let him throw his arm out. Who cares? Unbelievable. So I don't really get the pitch count shit because you don't need it. The players aren't going to stay anyway. All right, I think that's it. I have to get out of here because I am so hungry, and I'm going to go to the pool and a hot tub and go relax. I don't think I need to do anything. I want to frame these guys, though. I want to frame my Picassos. This is me picking football games. This is me with gold and silver. So I want to frame these badly. And I got this bookmark. And here's what it costs to go see the Picasso. It's only 13 euros to go see Picasso. You can't beat that anywhere. I'm sorry. $13 to walk through the Picasso Museum? Are you fucking kidding me? And even these, I think, were only 4 or 5 euros to get. This was 5 euros, and this was doesn't say, but this was probably no more than 4 or 5 euros because this is kind of plastic. So I mean, but don't you love putting Picasso on your wall, even though it's not real? But I don't care. So that's it. But I am just so hungry, and I'm probably gonna have another coffee or tea or water. I gotta like keep going. But that's the problem. I don't have dinner tonight, Bobby. I'm fasting. I got to go till tomorrow to try to get my back healed. So I am on let's see, 3 o'clock. I started at 5. So that's 10 hours and 24. I'm on 34 hours. No, I'm on 44 hours. Yeah, I'm 24 at 5 o'clock yesterday, 36 at 5 in the morning. It'll be 48 hours at 5 o'clock. So I'm at 46 hours right now. And yeah, I'm a little hungry, but I don't think that's why I don't worry about doing it. I know I'm healthy. I know I need more water. That's why I'm hungry. If I have a couple glasses of water with lemon in it, I'll be fine. And then it's to fix my back, or in your case, your neck or your knee. If that's why you're doing it, you don't give a fuck. I don't want to eat. I want the autography to kick in. So I'll be 48 hours at 5, and then it's like get through the night, and then I wake up at 5 o'clock. It's 60 hours. So if I get up at like 8 o'clock, it's 63 hours. Then I just wait till noon, and I'm at 68 hours, 70 hours. I'm done. I'm fine. If my back ain't healing by then, it ain't healing. And I don't know if autography can heal a nerve. It'll heal a broken bone. Like you break your arm, it heals. You break your leg, it heals. I don't know I would assume your body's going to heal everything. I assume my autography is going to heal my nerve. So I'm just going to go to the hot tub now. Really, I just need to get out because I don't know how much longer I can't sit in the kitchen and just look at this dark chocolate and a few other things I have and go, I mean, I'm dying just for a fucking salad or tuna in a salad, or I got the rotisserie chicken I ate Sunday. So I'm like, I still got half of that. That's the problem. I went grocery shopping Sunday. So I got a lot of veggies that I want to cut up and eat. And I'm like, I'm keeping them in the broccoli's still in the plastic, and a big cucumber in the plastic. Mushrooms are still, like, I'm leaving them in the container until I'll cut them up tomorrow. But that's the hard. This probably, it's hard right now, but if I drink some more water, I'll be fine. In a hot tub, it'll get me out of the house. And I would love to walk the lake, but it's too cold. It's like 40 degrees here. What the fuck's going on here? 40 degrees and cold. That's why I'm wearing the sweatshirt. And but I did everything. So the drug test is done. I did all the background check. The only thing that might come up is if they can't get a hold of a contract house, if they even check that. I mean, I gave them the numbers. They might just look it up and go, yeah, that's the contract house. That's the number. We'll just believe them. The drug test. And then the others, the addresses, like, who gives a fuck about that? So I moved from here to Alabama and back, but in different residence. So the move before is Michigan, Alabama. Who gives a shit? I mean, I guess they can check it, but I don't know what they're going to see. So that's about it. So I am going to I am off to the pool, just really to try to help my back. I did take some ibuprofen, so I'm hoping I can walk easier. I took 5 of them when I left Barcelona on Friday morning. I got up at 5 o'clock. I took 2 because I couldn't sleep, and my back was bothering me. When I got to the airport, we didn't take off till 9:30, and that's when I met that Philadelphia guy at 9. I took 3 more ibuprofen for the plane, and I actually was fine for 7.5 hours on the plane and the half hour on the runway. I was actually not in any pain at all sitting. Like now, I'm not in any pain sitting. The pain comes in when I get up to walk. I got to be gentle, and then I kind of lean forward a little. I wish I could just walk, but the hot tub helps me. And then if I go into the cold water, will help me. So I'm going to go do that. But I think I'm going to get that out of the way just because I got to find something to do because I can't eat. I am just, but once I get to about 7, put on some movies, put on Rounders and Euro Trip, and get to 9, 10 o'clock, and then wake up, then I'll be great. And this way I'll be ready for work May 5th. I wanted to do this before, but this cleans me all out from the bullshit I was eating in Barcelona. Because, I was going to the store and getting little chocolate croissants and dark chocolate and strawberries and avocado when I went to the grocery store. It was just a little taste of the chocolate. And that was it. So anyway, what are you eating for dinner tonight, Bobby? You got the pig's ears going, or you got General Chow? What are you eating? All right. Well, you're probably on the phone. All right. Well, good luck with your 401k, IRA, whatever you got. Get it out. You can't lose in gold and silver, and I don't care what it is. And because the guy with the chart thinks it's going to go down, he understands physical gold from COMEX. What a fucking idiot. All right. Have a nice day, everybody. Good luck on the basketball. I think it's mostly tomorrow. I think there's 1 or 2 tonight. And go tomorrow. And then we got the draft. We will talk about that Thursday as I get some more key players. All right, everybody. Have a good day. www.teaserking.com. Please do not be at all concerned about gold and silver. It's a lock. You have 0 risk, and you're going to make a lot of money. So the only other thing comparative is you want to buy a Mickey Mantle card or a Rolex. That's it. All right, everybody, get out of dollars, get off the Titanic, get onto the gold boat. All right, take care, everybody.